One of the crown jewels of ACC baseball is the host to two of its top programs as the University of Miami looks for a road series win against the Clemson Tigers in Game 2 of this three-game set. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium on the campus at Clemson University. With Gabby Sanchez, I'm Mike Farron. Last night, Miami got 5 runs in the 10th inning. They took the opener of this series 8-3. Clemson now 1-6 in the ACC. Tonight is a critical game for them.
It really is. I don't think it's time to kind of press the panic button, but there is an urgency button right next to it that they're definitely pushing, because here's the thing. It's not going to get any easier because ACC baseball is very, very competitive.
Well, if they're going to win tonight, they're going to have to shut down the big star for Miami, Daniel Cuvée, who is one of the best players in the country.
Yeah, Daniel Cuvée, boy. You look at the heart and soul of this lineup, that's Daniel Cuvée and what he's been able to bring to the table. 10 home runs so far on the season. He continues to keep climbing every single one of those offensive rankings for the University of Miami. At the end of it, I believe that he's going to be on that Mount Rushmore of one of the best offensive players in Miami history.
Already tied for third all-time in Miami history with homers. The transfer from LMU, Nate Savoy, was a freshman All-American last year, and he has been one of the key bats for Clemson this year.
And for Nate Savoy, look, Clemson right now, they need that spark plug. They need somebody to take the reins and say, hey, everybody follow me. Nate Savoy has that type of power. 9 home runs on the season, hitting .376. They need him to really catch fire and bring along everybody with him.
We are set for baseball tonight, the second game of this 3-game set. You look at Miami's order. Alex Sosa, highlighted there, big night last night with a pair of doubles in the 3 spot for the Hurricanes, and he will have to face Michael Sharman, who makes the start for Clemson. The transfer from Tennessee into the wind, and the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball outside, and we are underway. Sharman, the senior, the transfer from Tennessee, and this dude throws it in the zone. The 1-0. A strike, it's 1-1.
Yeah, when you look at Sharman, I mean, he's not going to walk anybody. He basically is going right after the hitters, and you love to see it. He's going to have to mix it up, though. He likes to rely on that outside corner, and you got to be able to use both sides.
Jake Ogden dumps that one into right field, a leadoff single for the second baseman, and the senior is aboard for Daniel Cuvée. Cuvée last night delivered the decisive blow in Miami's 5-run 10th inning. A hot shot off the glove of a backhanding Tristan McClatty at third that went down the left field line and scored 3 runs to give Miami a hard-fought victory. Both of these teams looking for their first conference series win as Cuvée takes down and in, and the count 1-0. There weren't a whole lot of really memorable moments or some great defensive plays last night, but it was a really tight, intense ball game between these two clubs.
It was a fun ball game. There was a lot of back and forth action. Miami basically won the first half of that ball game. Clemson then wins the second half of the ball game. And then it was tied there at the third half of that ball game. So for Miami, for Clemson, it's a very tight contested game. Miami ends up scoring 5 runs in that 10th to kind of take over. But for me, it's just one of those things for Clemson where they need something to get over the hump. And it seems like they've been in a lot of very tight contested ball games. They just haven't been able to win them.
It's Eric Bakich, the head coach at Clemson in his 4th year. 1-2 the count to Cuvée, the pitch. Swing and a miss. 91 from Sharman, blown by him for out number 1.
And with Sharman on the mound, it's a good fastball. He has a curveball. He loves throwing that changeup, but everything's going to be right there in that quadrant, that lower outside quadrant to righties. He'll kind of live out there too with lefties. He'll kind of work himself away. Right now it's going to work because he loves to have that fastball changeup combo on that outside. That changeup's going to kind of fall off, and he has enough on that fastball. It's anywhere between 89 and 91 miles an hour.
Diving back to first is Ogden as Alex Sosa gets set to hit. One thing that we talked about last night, and we were talking again today with the coaches from Miami, was that Miami's offense did a terrific job with Aiden Canuck's changeup. I mean, that's one of the best off-speed pitches in the country, and they were really, really disciplined about it. Sharman's a little different. Obviously, he's a left-hander, but it's still the same principle. So how do they try and attack someone who's going to change speeds and even uses changeup against lefties? Ogden goes, pitches a strike, throw by Savoy, not in time. Miami has a man in scoring position with one out in the first.
Well, it's almost kind of doing the same exact concept where if you're a righty, you've got to let that ball travel. One of the main reasons why is because he is going to live on that outside corner with that fastball. So you could still say, I'm going to look as a righty to right center field. I'm going to try to drive it into that right center field gap. And then if he does throw me a changeup, I could still get extension on it. I could stay on it and hit it to left field and stay fair to left field because I'm not trying to pull the pitch.
0-1 the count to Sosa. Miami already threatening in the top of the first. Swing and a miss. Change up there, left on left. It's 0-2. I always wonder about this with a guy who maybe doesn't throw quite as hard. You know, Kanak is so unique in that his changeup could be in the high 70s, right? And he's got a fastball that'll touch 95. As Sosa drives that down the right field line, but hooking foul. But with Sherman, there's going to be a little bit difference. I mean, we saw a high 70s changeup, but that fastball's in the low 90s, right? And at best, usually in the high 80s. So does it make it easier for a hitter to make that adjustment? Like, how do you try and attack that as a hitter?
Well, the thing is, too, is that Sherman, that fastball that he has is going to kind of run away to righties into lefties.
Called strike three. He spotted up that fastball perfectly to Sosa and back-to-back strikeouts. 2 outs in the first.
And what he does a very good job of is mixing and matching. He'll throw that changeup because all of a sudden now that fastball at 91 miles an hour, it's going to play a little bit harder, especially when you start to think, you know what, he does throw that changeup a whole lot, or he wants to throw the curveball a little bit more. That fastball then surprises guys. And he does a really good job, too, of being able to spot it. He can spot it where he wants it. He's got a lot of control on the mound.
2 outs for Derek Williams, who hits one through the left side into left center field for a base hit. Ogden will score a 2-out single for Derek Williams. And it's 1-0 Miami in the first. That is now 9 runs scored by Miami in this series, and all of them have come with 2 outs.
Miami has done a really good job of doing just that. When there's 2 outs, it's still go time. But this is how you want to attack if you are a hitter. You want to hit to the big part of the field. Does just that. Everybody is pinching up the middle. Everybody is playing for pull, but there is an opening, and Williams there is able to take advantage of it, not trying to do too much. And that's what we've seen with this Miami team. They're not trying to go up there and hit homers. They're trying to go up there and make solid contact.
Ryland West swings and misses. The FIU transfer, 3 hits last night. Not a whole lot of power from the big man, but he is a very good contact hitter with an excellent idea of the strike zone. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw from Savoy on the money. And he guns down Williams to end the first. But Miami gets the lead on the 2-out single from Derek Williams. To the bottom of the first, Miami 1, Clemson coming to bed. Of Clemson and Doug Kingsmore Stadium, the Cajun Cafe in right field as the Tigers get ready to supply some smoke with their offense. Jack Crichton leading things off in just a moment. I'm a little bit curious. Could you go and grab me a plate of food from the Cajun Cafe next inning?
You know what? I'm going to do that for you because I kind of want to grab them for myself. So they didn't bring it yesterday. I'm going to go get it today.
We're going to have to get an investigation into that. But the smoke started about, I'd say about 3 o'clock this afternoon. We got here a little early at the ballpark. We've been smelling it for the last 5 hours. So it is one of the coolest parts of this incredible venue. really is one of the crown jewels of ACC baseball here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. And Rob Evans, the senior, going to make the start for Miami. He's been on a tear. The lefty, the transfer from Georgia State last year, who was a key reliever, has helped to stabilize this rotation for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it's a 3-pitch mix. It's a fastball, slider, and a changeup. Fastball 91 to 94 miles an hour. And talking to J.D. Arteaga, yeah, he said, Rob Evans, I'm going to need him to go a little bit deep into this ball game. They had to use 2 of their better relievers in yesterday's ball game. So if Evans can give them length, it's just going to help them out, especially because he's still got another game tomorrow.
He has given up just 2 runs in his last 15 2/3 innings. As Evans, as he gets ready to face Jack Crichton, 0 for 5 yesterday. Knocked it a run on an error. 6 errors between the 2 teams, and yet we saw some really incredible defensive plays last night. Crichton started at first base, getting the start in left field. The senior from Michigan, batting with Clemson down 1-0 in the last of the first. And the first pitch from Rob Evans is down low, ball 1-0. Okay, look at the Hurricanes lefty. He's not trying to trick you. He's another guy that throws strikes. Stuff might be just a little bit better than Sharman's.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more velocity, especially on that fastball.
That went back through the middle and a leadoff single for Jack Crichton in the Clemson first. Good start for the Clemson offense.
I'm trying to think back to yesterday's ballgame, and I don't think they had the leadoff runner reach base at all in yesterday's ballgame. That's the first time that they've done it this series. So it's nice to see Crichton do that, because I know that right now the offense probably is stressing a little bit too much. So at this point, getting that first guy on, kind of just, hey, guys, we're good, we're fine. Don't press that panic button that we talked about.
Nate Savoy, the transfer from LMU, a freshman All-American a year ago, takes a strike. His first year with Clemson, second on this team at home runs with 9, massive raw power, and they could really use him to tap into it. Just to Gabby's point, the last 11 games, things have not gone well offensively for Clemson. The 0-1, that went upstairs, 1-1. Clemson has dropped 8 of their last 11, including their first 2 conference series, and those are the numbers in that time. Look at that, 387 slugging percentage is what really stands out to me.
Yeah, I mean, the 255 batting average, not something that Eric Bakich wants to see with this team. They're better than that, and we know that they're better than that. Sometimes, though, that pressure starts to kind of trickle in that clubhouse, and guys start to talk about it. Guys trying to do a little bit too much, which means that all of a sudden you start to get a little bit more tense in the box. You're trying to hit that big home run. You get away from who you are as a player.
They are without Jaron Purify as Savoy crushes one deep to left field, and the power shows up for him. A 2-run shot, and Clemson has the lead. Number 10 on the year for Savoy. And just their 12th homer in the last 12 games, but it's given Clemson an advantage in the first inning. Boy, do they need that one.
Partner, we talked about it. They needed a spark. And they sure got that spark right there. So, boy, my goodness, 111 miles an hour off the bat, and it cleared everything. That ball was absolutely smashed.
I'm still not sure where it landed.
It went over everything. It's still going.
It went so far
that there's no distance.
Yeah, TrackMan couldn't find the distance on it. That would foul back. Jacob Gerald, he leads the team with 11 home runs. It's a much more aggressive Clemson lineup so far tonight. Rob Evans attacking with the fastball, and they've been all over it to this point. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1.
For me, too, Evans is kind of a little bit like Sharman, where he loves to attack, especially on that outer half. The difference is that Sharman kind of utilizes that lower quadrant, where Evans, who has a little bit more velocity, will try to climb the ladder a little bit more.
Outside, it's 2-1.
What that means, though, is that changeup, if you leave it up And I believe that is what Savoy hit. He hit that changeup that was just elevated. It really didn't have any action to it. You're going to get hurt. So he has to really try to work and get on top of this baseball and get right on top and use that lower quadrant.
Swing and a miss. Had him out in front on that. And the count 2-2.
And he has to attack in. You got to be able to attack in. You can't just live on one side of the plate. Guys are going to start leaning in on you. They're going to start kind of creeping up into the box to say, I'm going to take away that outside corner.
2-2, and the count goes full to Gerald. Gerald, team co-captain the last 3 years. Caught last night serving as the DH today. He's run the count full here in the first. Clemson on the 2-run homer from Savoy has the lead. A payoff. He lines that one deep and foul down the left field line. These are much more committed swings from Clemson tonight, too.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference from the swings that we're seeing today than the swings we saw in all of yesterday's ball game. There is something behind these swings, almost like an aggression that they're just getting out.
Still nobody out at the bottom of the first. Lefty Evans set. And the payoff. Called strike 3. Painted 94 at the bottom of the zone for the first out.
And for me, that's where Rob Evans needs to live. If you're living right here with this pitch, this fastball, absolutely filthy, 94 miles an hour, down and away in the zone, you're going to be just fine. You're not going to get hurt too many times if you're throwing it there.
Tristan McClatty will bat with one out in the bottom of the first. McClatty, who got off to a fast start, has been scuffling of late. Left-handed hitter playing third base here, and he lines that one into right center field. It's a base hit. Williams over to cut it off. McClatty digging for second, and he's in with a double. Another first pitch swing and another positive result for the Clemson Tigers.
All right, and you know for Tristan McClatty, this is a good feeling. And this is what I love, too, about McClatty. He hits this ball, right away he's off and running. He's seeing it. You know what? This could be a 2-ball. Right off the bat, it looked like it was just going to be a routine single. He saw where they were playing. There was an opening, and he didn't take it for granted, running hard all the way to second.
McClatty had a rough night offensively last night. He was charged with an error on a tough play in the 10th inning that ended up letting Miami take the lead. But a good start for him, and back at third base today. And we were talking about that before the game. I just love that Eric Bakich didn't run for him today. He knows how important McClatty is to this team.
And for McClatty, he could play outfield. He plays that center field position. He could play kind of everywhere. But they need somebody right now to kind of solidify that third base spot. And they were able to utilize McClatty and say, hey, look, we understand you're going to have some bumps. It's going to be tough, but we need you over there, and we're going to put you right back there.
Lance Gutierrez on his way out to the mound. The Miami pitching coach making a first inning visit. As good as Evans has been in his last 3 starts, not sure the Lance Gutierrez thought he was going to have to be out there in the first inning, but
this Clemson team right now, they're showing a little bit of aggression. And I guarantee you that might have been something that Eric Bakich told his team. You know what? Enough of, going up there and trying to do too much. I want you guys to just go out there, have fun, swing hard, because sometimes that's what you need to do as a team. I had hitting coaches when you were going through some ruts, and you can see that, hey, guys are putting a little too much pressure during BP. Hey, guys, everybody, we're hitting homers. I don't care. We're not working on trying to hit behind the ball. I want everybody to try to hit a home run, because all of a sudden, guys get a little bit more relaxed at the plate.
Pull out the dig me reels, right?
Yeah.
All the reels of the success that they've had. The 0-1 misses, it's 1-1.
Hey, there was nothing said in the big leagues where all of a sudden you're looking up at the screen early on in the clubhouse, and it's all just guys just powering baseballs over the fence and being like, look, you guys are good. We could do this.
Foul tip, the count 1-2. I would have to think that approach, though, only works against certain styles of pitcher. And Rob Evans is a guy that pounds the strike zone, so it's kind of the perfect night to let that loose, right?
And a lot of times, too, it's just to get guys to stop thinking so much, because when you're thinking at the plate, you're not going to be as good as when you're free and easy.
Outside, the count 2-2. I believe it was the great philosopher Crash Davis that said, "Don't think. It can only hurt the team."
What a great movie.
2-2 the count. He was a philosopher, right?
Yeah, he was.
He liked to philosophize at least, yeah. 2-2. Runner bluffs going, and Dillard in the air to right. Williams over to make the catch for out number 2. Tagging and heading to third is McClatty, and the throw's late. Strong throw from Williams, but McClatty hustles to third for the second out. 2-1 Clemson, and here's Ty Daly. Ty Daly, the transfer from Mercer, had good at-bats last night. He homered in the midweek against Coastal. You see that, just 2 home runs. This is a power hitter. This is one of the guys that can change the complexion of Clemson's lineup if he gets going, especially with Jaron Purify out at the top. They need another spark. And Daly, who had the slide of the night last night, coming home on a base hit with a swim move at the plate, could deliver that. He skies that one to shallow right. Derek Williams coming in, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Nate Savoy, though, gives Clemson the lead. A monstrous 2-run homer. We head to the second. Clemson 2, Miami 1. Gabby to the Cajun Cafe. Here's this weekend's featured baseball game on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Sunday afternoon, number 14 NC State, number 3 Georgia Tech finished their 3-game series in Atlanta. Coverage begins 3 Eastern. It should be a really fun one. That is a great series with a pair of top 10 teams. 2-1 Clemson as we start the top of the second inning. Michael Sherman back to work. An efficient 14-pitch first as he gets Braylon West to swing and miss at the first offering. We have sent Gabby Sanchez out of the booth and to the Cajun Cafe in right field. Fouled away. Off to the right, not a play. 0-2. He had a chance to go to Clemson last year. The folks at the Cajun Cafe were kind enough to provide us with food for a couple of games. And we have been dreaming of it ever since. And there you see Gabby. He'll be signing autographs out there. That one fouled away by West. But it really is one of the special parts of this absolutely gorgeous ballpark. This is one of the best venues in all of college baseball. These Clemson fans are absolutely fantastic. Very supportive of this program as they try to get back to Omaha for the first time since 2010. Gabby working his way through the crowd into the front of the buffet line. Here's the 1-2. West on the ground to first. Ooh, nice play. Bobbled by Gaffney. Stays with it to get the out. And the leadoff man gone in the second. Good play by Luke Gaffney to record the out. Get a look at nimble footwork, and even though The ball came out of his glove. He stayed with it, didn't panic, and got to the base. And there is Gabby at the Cajun Cafe. Well, how's your view?
How you doing? I can't right now, but I'll come to you right now.
Gabby already making friends out there. We'll check in with him in just a moment. Alonzo Alvarez hits, the freshman switch hitting designated hitter. This is the future star catcher in this Miami program. Terrific first season for him. Hitting .344, more walks than strikeouts. Here comes the 1-1 from Michael Sharman. A strike on the outside corner as he changes speeds again, and the count 1-2. Alvarez, a Northern California kid. He's a big part of Miami's future. Fouls it away. Stays alive. And a look at Sharman, the transfer from Tennessee. There's Alvarez. They are really excited about this young man. It's not a highly touted recruit. Kind of came on late in the draft process, but strong commitment to Miami. Called strike 3, 2 outs. All right, let's check in with Gabby from the Cajun Cafe. Gabby, what do we have out there?
What's going on?
I don't know, you tell me.
I'm here with the fans, and they're giving me food. And, Mike, unfortunately, they only gave me one plate.
That figures.
But, I mean, I'm going to say I'll save you one, but you know that's not true.
Van Cheyenne takes the ball inside. All right, so give us just a sense of what it's like out there, because this is, again, one of the really special parts of Doug Kingsmore Stadium. It's one of the special parts of college baseball that you can get a barbecue joint in right field.
This is a really cool spot out here, I'll tell you that much. This is a great view, and the smell is something else.
Cheyenne swings and misses, and the count 1-2. How many people are out there? Can you tell?
There's plenty of people, and everybody has food on their plate. I'm getting yelled at by fans. They're saying ACC, and everybody wants to talk.
Cheyenne down on strikes. We'll let you talk to him. As Sharman works a perfect second. 2-1 Clemson, middle 2. Look at that. Big time Gabby Sanchez. Not only does he get a plate of food, but he gets A2 Lori to carry it for him. It's awfully nice. As he makes his way back from the Cajun Cafe in right field. If you get a chance to come to Clemson, this is an absolutely gorgeous campus. About 2 hours from Charlotte, 2 hours from Atlanta, perfectly located and a perfect scene for college baseball. Luke Gaffney to lead things off for Clemson. They've got a 2-1 lead. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. You get the Cajun Cafe here at Miami at Mark Light Stadium. They have the famous shakes. You get the animals in Section B at Florida State. Part of the thing that we love about college baseball is the fan experience. It is intimate. The quality of baseball continues to improve in the conference. It is really good in the ACC this year. And you might get a meal out of it if you're lucky. Gaffney, the transfer from Purdue a year ago, starting at first base tonight, DH'd yesterday. Takes a fastball that just missed in the count 1-1. Gaffney had big power at Purdue and now facing Rob Evans here, the transfer from Georgia State. Evans grew up in New York City. He's from Harlem originally. One of the things that the Miami coaches really appreciate about him is this kind of quiet competitiveness that he has. Just is always on point. You see J.D. Arteaga there in the middle, the head coach. As Gutierrez and former big leaguer Jared Saltalamacchia flanking him. Evans was a potential starter a year ago before a fractured elbow kept him out for about half the season. He came back down the stretch and threw well for Miami. Out of their bullpen. 2-2 the count. Evans set. And the pitch. Gaffney lines it to left. Dubovik has to make a leaping grab. Nearly misread it, 1 out. Look at Tyler Lichtenberger. We've managed to get Gabby back, and most of the plate of food is still here.
I'm a little tired. It's a long walk.
Okay, buddy. It's not that far.
It's a lot of stairs. It's a lot of stairs. I brought you some food.
What do we have?
It looks like some. Is that fish? It looks like fish. Some fries.
This Friday.
Chicken. Yeah. But I'm a little out of breath on that one. It's a fun area out there, by the way. There's a lot of fun people.
What were they screaming at you?
They wanted to have fun and talk with me, and they wanted me to stay there and be there for a while. And I said,
you seriously thought about it? Yeah.
I said I would love to, actually. They tried to give me a beverage, and I said I can't do that. I'm working.
Inside, and that hit Lichtenberger, the shortstop, aboard with 1 out here in the second. I appreciate your restraint with when it comes to the beverage and the food.
I did have a fry.
Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, you can
we're sharing this.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Whew. Smoked chicken out in the Cajun Cafe is one of my favorites.
It is. Well, that fried bologna sandwich.
Oh, it's so good.
But no,
we'll be back here in a couple weeks.
Fun group out there at the Cajun Cafe. Everybody's having fun, especially when Clemson does exactly what they did in that first inning, and Nate Savoy supplied that fun for them out there.
Bryce Clavin had a good night last night, getting a start in center field. The Georgia transfer starting a back-to-back days. Terrific high school football player where he was a quarterback, a dual threat guy. He sends it into right center. It's Fabio Peralta who'll make the catch for out number 2. It's 2-1 Clemson as we go back to the top of the order with Jack Crichton. Peralta, excellent defender in center. He's moved to that position because of the injury to Michael Torres. Both these teams have injuries. Miami's outfield has been impacted pretty significantly of late. Max Galvan is out after breaking his foot in the Central Florida game. That was about a month ago. He has the boot off as Evans throws away the pickoff throw. Lichtenberger around second. He's going to head to third. Ogden gets to it, and the throw cut off. A throwing error on the pitcher, Evans, and now Clemson has an insurance run 90 feet away.
And for Evans, trying to be quick on that pickoff to first base. It's that quick movement, the jab step out, try to get the pickoff. Does not throw it well, gets by Wes. That's just great base running, too, by Lichtenberger to be able to go first to third on that miscue.
There is a surprising amount of foul ground here for as intimate a ballpark as this is. And that's a guy who knew his home field well, being able to go first to third on that.
Yeah, there was no hesitation. Like usually guys are running there and they're looking back. No, he knew I'm going to be able to get to third.
Foul back. Good pass by Crichton. It's 0-1. Crichton singled and scored on the Savoy homer in the first. Evans trying to post a 0 here in the second for Miami. Squares and takes high. The count 1-1. Lefty comes set. And the pitch. Down the right field line, a long run for Williams, hustling into foul ground. Does he have a play? He does, and nearly goes over the side wall. What great hustle by Derek Williams to record the out and leave a man at third. We've played two. Clemson has a 2-1 lead over Miami. Incredible balance, nothing like staying on the fence. Michael Sherman is a ground ball guy for the most part with his fastball. Now, the ground ball percentages aren't all that high, Gabby, but he really works towards the bottom of the zone as much as possible.
Yeah, he definitely does, and that's why he gets a lot of those ground balls. He gets ground balls with that fastball and also with the changeup because of where he's throwing the pitches. He's working a lot, of course, on the outside corner, especially against righties.
He gets a ground ball right on cue, but it gets into right field for a base hit. And Dubovic with a leadoff single after his 0 for 9 last night. That'll bring up Fabio Peralta with Miami trailing by a run.
Yeah, Dubovic has been going through his freshman struggles, that's for sure, especially with the hot start that he had. And you can tell probably trying to chase the hits rather than just letting them happen. That's a very nice swing, letting it get deep and driving it the opposite way.
Fabio Peralta's had a good start to the season, the lefty. And that is...
Shot the time clock, yeah. He didn't step in time.
So it's 0-1 to Peralta on the timer violation. The 0-1 misses low, the count 1-1. Sherman transferred here from Tennessee last year, where he was really used by Volunteers last year. He actually started his collegiate career at Highland Community College in Illinois. Suffered an injury there. That one outside. He ended up 2024 at Georgia Highlands before getting to Tennessee. But you don't see a whole lot of guys ever that are like him. I shouldn't say ever, but anymore. There's not that lefty, you know, my favorite made-up baseball world pitchability left-hander, right? Like
the spotting guys, the guys that throw the fastballs, kind of go east to west, you know, keep it down, get the soft contact. You don't. It's a lot more of, hey, how hard do you throw? That 97, 98.
3-1 to Peralta, and he just does get a piece. The count is full. Yeah, Sharman is not going to be about velocity at all. It's about pitch movement. It's not plus stuff, it's plus movement.
Yeah.
And that really helps to set up that very good changeup.
And plus command. And that's kind of where his butter is bred. He's able to attack certain zones.
And they've got the man picked off. The throw down to second, and Dubovic is out. And he can control the running game, too, so he's got that.
and very smart with the running game. And Dubovic trying to be aggressive. It's going to be first movement is when he's going to go. They read him perfectly. Sharman with a nice move. I love, too, that Gaffney went to go get it to make the throw. He gave himself a lane to get the out.
Dubovic nearly beat that as Peralta fouls it down the left field line.
Dubovic can move.
Good for a big man, freshman. Now Peralta in a battle here. But all those things that you would expect out of that kind of classic back-end lefty is Sosa giving some instructions to Dubovic on how to handle a rundown. We'll take one more look at the play at second here.
It was close. I mean, Dubovic, it almost looked like he was able to get it, but no, there's the tag right on the foot.
Yeah. Bang, bang.
Lichtenberger with a really nice tag.
That was closer than I thought it was going to be when they had him picked off. But the 3-2 to the number 9 hitter Peralta, and he gets jammed. Dillard has it and will throw him out. 2 outs. Back to the top of the order with Jake Ogden. Clemson leading Miami 2-1. Sharman earlier this year threw a complete game shutout against South Carolina. You know, that's one of the biggest series of the year here, right? Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson lost the opener to South Carolina in the second game. Sharman threw a complete game 9-inning shutout on 78 pitches. Even Greg Maddux was impressed by his efficiency.
Well, I mean, you kind of look at the stuff and what he's able to utilize. That good fastball changeup mix, they all look the same coming out of his hands. He tunnels every single one of those pitches really well.
Ogden punches it through the right side. He is 2 for 2. Big turn at first, and he'll hold on there as Daly gets it back in.
And you can see, too, kind of where Miami is trying to go. Their hits have been opposite field. They're letting that ball travel. They're going the opposite way. They're going up the middle to the big part of the field. That's the only way that you can have success against a guy like Sharman, where if you think about pulling, that's what he wants. That's where you're going to get all those ground balls and you're going to get around those pitches.
Cuvée batting with 2 outs. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Daniel Cuvée has been pretty quiet so far in this series, but loud numbers throughout the 2+ years at Miami, and he swings and misses. He got tied up with 88 there. It's 0-2.
But all of a sudden, Sharman's starting to change it up, all right? Cuvée comes up. He's probably thinking, okay, last time he attacked me, everything was out over the plate and down away. Now what is he doing? He's throwing in. He's trying to control that inside part of the plate.
Swing and a miss. Rushed a fastball by him, and Sharman gets out of the inning. He gives him a pair of hits, leaves a man. 2.5. Clemson leads Miami 2-1. We'll talk to J.D. Arteaga, the head coach at Miami, next. Miami head coach J.D. Arteaga with Clemson leading 2-1. J.D., the challenge against Michael Sharman for your offense is what?
you know, he's tough, man. He's got a really good changeup. He's got command of his fastball right now, and he's keeping us off balance. So, I mean, that was an inning. We had, you know, leadoff guy on, and you know, pressure mistake there. Can't get picked off 3-2 and you're running. But, you know, we got to capitalize on those innings there.
JD, with Evans on the mound, we talked earlier about, you know, hopefully he can get deep into this game for you. What are you seeing out of him?
Well, you know, the first inning was just a quick, you know, 1-2 punch there. He got put up a 2 spots, though, and a couple hard hit balls. So he needs to settle in here and get down to the zone and start locating his pitches better.
JD, we appreciate the time. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, JD Arteaga, the head coach at Miami. The former Miami pitcher, star that helped to lead them to Omaha. As a player, has been an assistant since retiring as a player, and now the head coach in his 3rd season there at his alma mater. He is Miami baseball in so many ways. Rob Evans faces Nate Savoy's 2-run homer in the first, accounting for both runs. Clemson, and Evans fires in a 94-mile-an-hour heater. It's 0-1. We talked to Eric Backett yesterday about Savoy, Gabby, and he was just raving about how easy the power comes for him.
Well, he showed how easy that power was in that first AB. Got a changeup, almost the same pitch there, just a little bit more on the plate. And apparently it's still going because he absolutely crushed that baseball. But it was an easy swing. It wasn't trying to hit the home run, and that's one of the things that I've seen with Savoy, because he's hit home runs to center, to right. He can go from line to line.
That in the air to left. Just missed that one. Drifting back and onto the little berm out there is Dubovik. That one kept carrying near the fence for out number 1. Wasn't hit very hard.
That's a tough play, though.
Ooh.
Because, one, that wind is howling right now to left field, and it's blowing out. And Dubovik, he's going up and now. That's not your typical warning track in the outfield. It's a raised warning track, so that it's going to kind of go up. So you've got to be sure-footed, and that's a lot of practice, especially during BP, of, hey, going out there kind of feeling, understanding that you're going to get a little bit of raise and elevation as you're trying to make a play.
Jacob Jarrell hits. He swings and pops one in the air to left. Dubovik makes the catch here on number 2. He looks super sure of himself, but I think you hit on something too, Gabby. The wind last night was blowing straight in. As you get a look at, you can see the angle there, right? It's raised up a little bit. It's not quite what Towles Hill used to be at what was then Minute Maid Park in Houston, but
that center field was bad.
Yeah, this is a little different. They call it a terrace here, but there you see the wind. It was blowing directly in from center last night. Now it has been shifting a little bit, and for the most part, it's been pushing balls towards the left field corner. Tristan McClatty doubled in the first, and he squares the bunt and bunts it foul. It's 0-1, and that got a piece of Sosa, and he is going to need a minute. Yeah, it looked like it got him in a very uncomfortable place.
Yeah, this is what happens when you wear the tools of ignorance behind the plate. Oh, jeez. That's going to hurt. At least he's smiling.
Whatever JD Arteaga said to him. Give him a good chuckle.
It's funny because I've been there and that's happened. It's a terrible feeling.
Oh, I can imagine it is horrible. Tristan McClatty behind in the count, 0-1. Interesting tonight, McClatty threatened to bunt a couple of times last night. Miami had a more pronounced shift on him with right-handers on the mound, with Cuvée, the third baseman, playing over by short. There's a big hole on the left side for McClatty, but they've kept Cuvée at home to try and take away that bunt. Fouled away. It's 1-2. I think that has to do with the handedness of Evans more than anything, right?
Right, but no, it's interesting, right? Because Evans, he is going to fall off to that third base side. So you would think that with the righty, you would bring in the third baseman. With the lefty, it's like, hey, go ahead. Now with 2 strikes, if you want to try the bunt, go for it. There's an opening for you.
McClatty in the cleanup spot tonight, waiting. And he fouls it away, staying alive. I had to think, though, that with the lefty on the mound, you just figure it's going to be a little bit tougher look for McClatty. Evans' numbers against lefties have been really good this year, right? So you're trying to take away what could be a weapon for him.
No, I mean, definitely what you're saying is true. It's one of those situations, though, where Evans, for me, is very athletic on the mound. And he definitely can move towards that side and go get it. And when you look at McClatty's swing, a lot of it is to that pull side, no matter if he's facing lefty or righty. But you can see he is trying to work on trying to let that ball get in and just use his hands and just try to touch the ball to that left side.
2-2. Tapped it foul. Did a good job to stay alive in this at bat. Out of the third inning, 2-1 Clemson. See tomorrow afternoon on the ACC network. Duke and Florida State will meet. Darren Vaught and Eduardo Perez will be there for that. And the 2-2. The outside, and the count goes full. McClatty keeps fighting and fighting, and now has worked a full count against Evans.
I mean, if you're Tristan McClatty, this is the kind of at bat that you want. The prolonged at bat, a lot of pitches, seeing a whole bunch, fouling off tough pitches.
Payoff. Into the shift. And underhanding to first is Ogden, and the inning is over. We'll talk to Eric Bakich, the head coach at Clemson, in a moment. They have a 2-1 lead over Miami at the end of 3. Two-1 Clemson as we start the top of the fourth and are joined now by their head coach, Eric Bakich. Boy, you guys came out aggressive against Rob Evans. What went into the game plan tonight against the strike thrower?
Well, he's good. He's got good stuff. I mean, he's low to mid-90s lefty with a lot of movement, a lot of horizontal break, and a good slider. He's quick to the plate, so he's tough to get the run game going. So we knew we'd have to hit, and I like our swings. I like the way we're swinging the bats. Obviously, Nate Savoy's home run was a big one, but there's been a lot of hard contact tonight, which is good to see.
Coach, I want to talk to you about Charmin, but before I do that, I had to go to the Cajun Cafe for an inning to do something over there and got the food. Have you had the privilege of eating some of that food from the Cajun Cafe?
Oh, yeah. There's not a better location in college baseball at any venue than our little right field corner, the Cajun Cafe. They represent maybe only about, I don't know what percent of the stadium, but they make a lot of noise. They eat a lot of good food. They have a lot of fun over there. I don't know how much baseball they're watching, but they have a lot of fun.
Hey, Gabby, you wanted to ask about Sharman.
I do.
Yeah.
With Sharman on the mound, I mean, he has been absolutely fantastic. Utilizing that changeup and that fastball. What have you seen out of him?
Well, when he's pitching ahead and, he throws strikes. That's what he does. So whether he gets hit or doesn't get hit, when he's in the zone, he gives us a chance. And it's 3 pitches for strikes. It's command. Some pitchers have control. They throw it in the box. He's really good when he's throwing it where he wants to, inside the strike zone.
Coach, we appreciate the time. And who do you have for us today?
I got Mr. Positive Energy Giver, Mr. Jaron Purify, Detroit's finest.
Excellent. That one gets away from Gaffney, and Sosa around first. He's going to head to second. Gaffney's throw is not in time, and Miami has the leadoff man aboard with nobody out here in the fourth. It's a start to the fourth inning, and we're joined now by Jaron Purify, the infielder for Clemson. Jaron, Mike Farron, and Gabby Sanchez. It's a real privilege to talk to you. How are you feeling, first of all, man? I was bummed to see the injury to the fingers. We wanted to see you play this weekend, so how are you feeling?
I feel great, Injuries are part of sports, so, sometimes you got to sit out and you got to get it from a different lens and you got to support your team.
How tough is it right now knowing that you want to be in there, how much you can help out this team of just staying there and then trying to find a way to be positive, to help your team even though you can't do it on the field?
You know, it's hard because obviously I want to be out there. I'm a baller, so, you know, I just want to be out there every time I get. But, you know, sometimes the game calls for you to just sit back and watch and support others who supported you the whole time. So that's what I'm doing. That's my role right now. And that's the only thing I'm focused on is encouraging my guys so we can win.
You know, it's funny. We were talking to Eric Backich yesterday about this, your head coach, and he was saying one of the things he wanted you to be involved with was not just the mental reps defensively, but encouragement and talking to players. So give us an example of what you do when the infielders come off the field.
Yeah, you know, I know how hard it is to play, and I know how hard it is just to stay engaged the whole time. So I just kind of encourage the guys just keep talking, keep communicating, make sure they're in their positions the right time, right place, you know. I'm just giving them encouragement throughout the day, just going through their at-bats and things like that, just giving them some insight on what I see and what I can do to help them every time is really good.
When you kind of look at where the team is at right now, there has been those struggles, especially early on in ACC play. But you as a teammate, what are you able to do to try to kind of get guys to maybe take a little bit of pressure off themselves?
Yeah, we just keep encouraging. Obviously, things haven't gone our way this far, but honestly, we have good heads about it. We're keeping it in a positive light. We're not too really pressed on like our situation right now because we know there are better days coming. It hasn't been good. I think we're 1-6 right now, but we're not even focused on that. That's the past. We're focused on today and what we can do to win today, and then we can just stack our days in the future.
All right, Jared, we need to talk a little Detroit baseball here because when you were in high school, in that era right around when you played, I don't think people realize how loaded the Detroit area was with prep players. So give people a sense. I mean, you've got, two teammates that are from the Detroit area, right?
Yeah.
So what was baseball like when you were growing up there? Because I'm not sure everybody understands what kind of a baseball hotbed it became.
Yeah, I played two brands of Detroit baseball. So I played inner city baseball where I have some of my best friends for the rest of my life. We were super gritty. Like in our Detroit Power League was the youth league for the inner city kids who couldn't afford like equipment and things like that. That's where I met my best friends, and we kind of came together and we made a team through one of my teammates' fathers, and he was just pivotal to my success and every other guy's success in the city. And then I played Metro Detroit baseball, high school baseball, University League at school in Grosse Pointe, Michigan. That's where I learned guys like Jack Crichton, and we had Brock Porter, Ike Irish, and a bunch of other guys who were super good and super key to my development. And those guys, I just wanted to play like those guys and just see like what type of competitive level and competitive spirit I had. So, yeah, I mean, we were super loaded, but yeah, it was definitely tough. We started with 1-1 counts and things like that in our league, and it was a different type of brand of baseball, and you add the weather factor, so that wasn't fun either. But it was really good. I enjoyed every single moment of it.
That's really cool. Yeah, it is a great area. Jared, we're going to let you go. Get back to the game. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you back on the field.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Jared Purify, one of the co-captains of this Clemson team, has been down to the broken finger. He should be back relatively near future, and now the game is on the bases here. They scored Sosa's ball off the glove of Luke Gaffney, a double, and then a walk by Sharman. His first of the night has put 2 aboard with nobody out for Miami in the top of the 4th. Swing and a miss. Sharman gets West, tough man to strike out for the first out here of the inning. That's already 6 strikeouts for Sharman.
Sharman has just been really, really sharp, especially with this fastball and being able to add and subtract. Right now, he has these Miami hitters off balance, and he's been getting those good guys out. The Daniel Cuvées, the Braylon West, like these are the guys that have been kind of supplying all that power and run.
Driven up the alley by Alvarez, and it'll get down and get all the way to the wall. The game is tied. Racing around third is Williams. He'll be held there. It's a double for the freshman Alonso Alvarez, and we're even at 2 in the top of the 4th.
Boy, and then you have all of a sudden the freshman Alonso Alvarez coming up, and just a great at-bat. Understanding I got to look out over the plate. He ends up getting the changeup. It's a little bit elevated. He stays on it and drives it the opposite way. That's what you need to do on those mistake changeups, because when it's down, it's got a lot of action. It's tough. When you see it up, you got to be able to put barrel to baseball. That's exactly what he did.
Eric Backich has come out of the dugout, and and is talking with our first base umpire tonight.
I think what he's doing is he's saying, I think he may have missed first base. And kind of from where I was at in the angle, I would agree with Bakich. It actually looked like he missed first base, but Gaffney wasn't looking at it. And what they tell first basemen is that you watch the runner as he's rounding first base, you watch him hit it. And once he hits it, then you kind of glide your way over to second base because you're not really doing much. You're kind of in that no man's land.
Infield pitched into the corner. Dane Potska, whatever answer he gave, Bakich headed back to the dugout. Let's take a look here.
And this is the play, and I thought for a second that he missed it. I mean, it looks, but there's nobody there. Gaffney should have been in that area watching him hit the base, and if not, he would have been able to appeal, and he would have been out.
Well, Potsak was looking right at the runner rounding first,
But they didn't appeal.
They didn't appeal. Still pinched in at the corners. 1-1 the count to Vance Sheehan, and he hits it on the ground past the diving McClatty into left field. It'll give Miami the lead. Alvarez to third. Sheehan delivers an RBI single, and the inning continues for Miami as they lead 3-2.
Shane comes up. He had some big hits in yesterday's ball game. Playing up, seeing if they could get the double play. They're not able to come up with it. And that ball gets through.
Now a chance for a big inning with the freshman Dubovic. He singled to right his first trip. There's Alvarez, the other freshman in the lineup tonight for Miami. Long delay here. And Savoy gets behind the plate now. Some defensive signals are being sent in via PitchCom, the pitch communication device that Clemson uses. And the first pitch misses down low, 1-0 to Dubovic.
And right now for Clemson, what they're doing is they have basically corners and they have middle back. So anything to the corners. If it's a hard hit baseball, you try to turn the double play. If it's a little bit softer, you're going to try to get that out at home.
Sheehan 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts as he has the lead. Being held by Gaffney at first. The pitch upstairs, 2-0. This becomes maybe the biggest pitch of the night so far. Dubovic has power with 5 homers, and he swings and misses out in front of a changeup, 2-1. That's some good pitching.
It's very good pitching, and it's using the aggression of a freshman. Understand it's a 2-0 count. Probably think I'm going to try to throw him a fastball and get it by. You go ahead and you drop that changeup in.
Another toss to first. Sheehan back easily.
And against right-handed pitching, he is going to utilize that changeup. He'll go to that. He'll go to the slider. He has that fastball, but he's going to utilize that changeup a lot more.
Pitch number 60 on the night for the lefty. Swing and a miss. Rushed the fastball by him. It's 2-2. Fastball's got a little bit more life to it than you would expect from a guy who's throwing 87, 88, but it's a lower release and it's got some carry.
It's got some carry, but it's that add and subtract too. You just were way out in front on 78, so you're trying to tell yourself, okay, see it deeper.
On the ground to second, and it bounces off Dillard into right field. A run comes home from third, Sheehan to third, and it's a 4-2 Miami lead as they've plated 3 runs here in the fourth. It looked like it had a chance to be a double play ball, and it just ate up Dillard at second.
Right, this is 103 miles an hour off the bat, and it's just an in-between hop. That's a tough play. There's nothing really you could do. Play it, and you can see that hop was not the same hop that he was expecting. It didn't stay down. It hopped up. He tried to get the glove there. He was trying to keep it in front of himself, but that ball just ricocheted, gets away from him. Not really much you can do there if you're Dillard at second.
Runner goes, the no throw. They gave an error on the play to Dillard and an RBI. And a stolen base there from Dubovic. Now puts 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
It's a tough error just because of the hop. There's not really anything he can do on that play.
A strike and the count 1-1.
Like there's some that I get it, right at you, down, the ball stays, but when that ball gives you a bad hop, and all of a sudden now it catches you, towards the top of the chest as a position player, like what do you want me to do on that play?
Eston Simpson getting loose at the Clemson pen, swing and a miss by Peralta. It's 1-1. The right-hander getting loose. Sharman's had a long inning here. A couple of balls that were hit hard off defenders. Infield coming in with 2 strikes. The pitch. Peralta takes just off the plate. 2-2. Pretty good pitch there from Sharman.
You can see what Backage is thinking too. Got to cut that runner at home, especially with 2 strikes, not just letting the hitter put the ball in play. You're going to have to still have your big swing.
Inside with a breaking ball, and the count is full. 4-2 Miami, top of the 4th. And looking to take control of this game with 2 men in scoring position and 1 out. The infield stays in. The 3-2. Peralta swings and fouls it down the left field line, and that'll get out of play. We're out to the concourse.
You got it.
Walk over to guest services and say, "Sir, I believe I lost a baseball." He's not sharing that with his friends.
No, that's his. He earned it.
And Sharman will step off. Use his timeout. Lefty resets. Payoff. Ball 4 high and the bases are loaded. Second walk of the inning for Sharman. The 8th man to come to the plate will be Jake Ogden. Bases loaded for Ogden.
This is where it gets tough if you're Backage. It's been a very long inning for Sharman, and then you have a guy that's coming up, and Jake Ogden, who's already 2 for 2 on the day. There's bases loaded.
Yeah, both of those base hits to the right side, and there is a good-sized hole there with the bases loaded and 1 out. Infield double play depth up the middle. First pitch, and he swings and fouls it back and out of play. It's 0-1. Ogden was one of the big stars for Miami last year. He's been off to a slow start. In the last 2 days, we've seen good at-bats, and when he's at his best, he's trying to go the other way.
Yeah, we talked to J.D. Arteaga, too, and he told us with Ogden that he has been hitting the ball hard, just nothing really to show for it.
The 0-1. Upstairs, the count 1-1.
You have that defense, though. They are giving him a lot of room to that right side. And today, Jake Ogden has shown that, hey, that's where I'm going to try to go. Even on that first swing, it was a changeup. It was elevated. Looks like he's trying to go to that right side.
Swinging a liner, caught it short. They've got a double play. The freshman Dubovic gets doubled off second, and Sharman gets out of the inning. But Miami scores 3 times. And here's the good play by Lichtenberger to end it. We head to the bottom of the 4th. 4-2 Miami. 3-run inning there for the Canes. And this is a half inning where every night Clemson's players head into the stands to thank active duty and retired servicemen and women for their service. This is something that Eric Backage added last year. Got the idea from the Savannah Bananas. It is one of the cooler moments, and it doesn't matter. There's one of the Clemson stars, Aiden Canuck. It's heading out into the stands. They say thank you to those who have served. Always a really cool moment here at Doug Hughes Sports Stadium. It's another incredible tradition at this incredible venue as the Clemson players mid-game saying thank you to those who have and do serve America in our armed forces. Ready to start the bottom of the fourth inning with Miami leading Clemson 4-2. Little strains of that bless the USA finish, and Rob Evans back to work with a lead. Face, Jay Dillard takes a strike. It's 0-1. Jay Dillard, Ty Daly, and Luke Gaffney for Clemson tonight. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, the 0-1 to Dillard. This is outside the count, 1-1. Dillard's played around the infield this season. Limited action the last 2 years in a redshirt season. Takes outside, and the count now 2-1 in his favor. Become an important utility man this year. Really good on-base skills. On-base percentage over .430. Swings and pops it up. Foul territory, first base side. West gives way to Ogden, who tumbles into fair ground and lost it. The throw to second, not in time. And the leadoff man is aboard at second, and a big break for Clemson here to start the fourth.
Man, that's all win there. That ball starts. It looks like it's going to be even in foul territory on that right side. Ogden is going over. All of a sudden, West is like, okay, you're calling it off. Let me get out of the way. But that ball just kept jetting out towards center field. Ogden can't come up with it. Almost looks like he has it. And it hits off the tip of his glove and gets down. And that's a break for Clemson. And that's the type of break that they need right now. They need to be able to go out there and understand, hey, we got to answer back. Miami just came up, put a 3 spot in the top of the fourth. You don't have to get it all back at once, but you just need that answer back.
Daly past a diving Cuvée into left field. Dillard will stop at third, and now it's Clemson who has him at the quarters with nobody out in the fourth. The way they gave Ogden an error on that play.
This is just a great at-bat here by Daly. Going the opposite way, letting it travel, getting that 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and hitting it right past the diving Cuvée. And all of a sudden now, Clemson has first and third with no outs.
Chance for them to get right back in this ball game after Miami's big inning. There's Luke Gaffney. He lined to left his first trip. The first baseman takes the ball outside. It's 1-0. Gaffney, who opened the year as a starting first baseman last year, DH some. Out of the lineup late in the season. Now they really need his power, and they gave Rob Evans a ball here. That is his second warning for not engaging the hitter, not making sure that he was making eye contact before starting his delivery. And now the count 2-0.
That changes everything in this at-bat now.
Inside, it's 3-0 to Gaffney.
Now all of a sudden for Evans, instead of having a 1-0 count turned into a 2-0, can't just come with the fastball, tries to go to the breaking pitch, can't get a strike there. Now it's a 3-0 count for Gaffney.
Travis Godek, our home plate umpire, has had 2 calls on timer violations. The throw first was just laid on Daly. 3-0 the count. Runners get their lead at the corners. The set, the pitch. Called strike. Good fastball on the outside corner. It's 3-1.
Yeah, if you're Gaffney right now, you're looking for your pitch on a 3-1 count. You're not trying to just expand. You want to get something that you can drive, something that's going to be out over you. You know that he likes to pitch on that outer third of the plate.
Fouled away and the count full.
And that's what he got. He got a good fastball, 93 miles an hour, towards that outside corner of the plate. Gaffney looking for it, just got underneath it.
He just needs to make a little bit of contact here. The infield obviously back with nobody out in a 2-run lead. There's Dillard from third, Daly from first. The 3-2, swinging a grounder through the left side, a base hit. Coming home to score is Dillard. Daly stops at second, and Clemson's cut into the lead. It's a one-run deficit. Fireworks going off here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium.
Just a really nice at-bat by Gaffney, too. Just staying on the off-speed pitch just enough, hitting it into the 5-hole. And you could just tell the excitement now that these players are having. We didn't see that excitement in yesterday's ball game. Today we are seeing it. It kind of looks like a different team, a different offense.
I know they hadn't scored since the first, but it felt like Savoy's home run really awakened them. And here's Lichtenberger. Lichtenberger hit by a pitch in the second. He squares to bunt. It's a good one. Cuvier's only play will be to first. A sacrifice, and now the tying and go-ahead runs in scoring position with one out.
That's a perfect bunt. First and second, the way that you bunt is you want to make your third baseman field the ball. That was a beautiful bunt by Lichtenberger, getting it over, understanding I need Cuvier to come and get it, because if he comes to get it and he makes a play, there's only going to be one play for him to make, and that's going to get me out. And all of a sudden, that's a team out. You have second and third. And Clavon is coming up, and yesterday he had himself a very nice game.
Couple of hits yesterday. He's flied to center his first trip. Can tie the game or give Clemson the lead as he fouls it down the right field line and out of play. There's action in the Miami bullpen as the senior Jake Dorn starts getting loose. 0-1 the count on Clavon. Pitch from Evans. Swinging a foul back. Challenge him with a couple of fastballs that has been just a little bit tardy on those heaters.
He has been a little bit tardy on the heater. And one of the things, too, that I'm noticing is with Clemson, they were playing infield in, especially with 2 strikes. But Miami, they're going to play back. They're going to say, you know what? We'll let you tie up the game. We'll give you 1, but we're not going to give you 2. So if you hit a ground ball up the middle, you'll get 1. You'll move the runner over, but that's all you're going to be able to get.
The 0-2. Popped up, shallow right center, coming in Peralta. He's got it, runner tags from third. He's coming home, here comes the throw, it's not in time. Daly again with a swim move, tagging the back of home plate, and Clemson has tied the game. That's twice he's pulled off that move in as many games, maybe not as dramatic as yesterday's, but still, Ty Daly knows how to pull that left arm away.
And for Clavon, stays on that fastball enough. Lets that ball travel, and this is what you're talking about with Daly. We saw it in yesterday's game, and we're seeing it again here today to avoid the tag, get the swim move, get yourself safe, and that's the answer back inning that Clemson needed here today.
A 2 spot to get things even. Gaffney stayed at second. And the first pitch to Jack Crichton. This is upstairs. It's 1-0. Crichton is singled and scored back in the first. Trying to get this inning extended to let Nate Savoy, the powerful catcher in the on-deck circle, face Evans again. A strike and the count 1-1 to the senior Crichton. Crichton, one of those players we talked about with Jaron Purify, a Detroit area kid, played at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And he hits it on the ground to the right side, backhanding is West. It's going to be a foot race, and Evans gets there just in time, and the inning is over. Nice feed from West and good hustle from Evans as Clemson scores a pair. We head to the 5th, tied at 4. Michael Sharman done after 4 innings, but outside of the 4th was really good tonight, Gabby.
It really was. He was doing a good job of mixing and matching with that fastball and the changeup. Throw that occasional slider, but he was really, really good. Miami was able to make a little bit of an adjustment on him, but it doesn't take away from what a very good job he was able to do here tonight.
4 runs earned against the lefty. A couple of balls that were hit hard that bounced off defenders helped lead to that inning. You can see the line score on the lefty at just 71 pitches tonight. And he gives way to the freshman from Georgia, Eston Simpson. 6'5", 195 pounds. You see the numbers. First appearance in 9 days. He's going 2 innings against a win against the Citadel on the 18th.
He's a big man on that mound, 6'5". It's a good fastball, slider, changeup mix. That fastball anywhere from 89 to 93 miles an hour. He will attack on that outside corner as well, but he will throw that four-seam fastball in, so he will work east and west.
The first man he'll face is Daniel Cuvée. 0 for 2 tonight with a pair of strikeouts against the lefty Sharman. First pitch to the right-handed hitting Cuvée. This is downstairs. It's 1-0.
And one of the things that I've been kind of noticing, the way that they're working Cuvée, a lot of fastballs, attacking him with old number 1.
Down low, the count 2-0. I would assume, without looking too hard, that Cuvée sees a lot of breaking balls because teams don't want to something he can crush, but Sharman really tied him up with the fastball. It almost was like he was surprised by it on the inside. There's a fastball that he fouls back. He just missed that one. It's 2-1.
It's just a lot of fastball. And I'm sure that, just like you said, Cuvée sees a lot of breaking pitches. He sees a lot of stuff out over, and he's been doing a lot of damage to it. And I feel like with Eric Backich said, you know what, let's just attack him with that heater.
Down low, the count 3-1 now to Cuvée.
But really, it's been all series long. You've just seen a lot of just fastballs. Other guys are getting the breaking pitches. When he gets up, it's here, hit this one. Doing a good job, too, of spotting the pitches against him.
He's the guy that is the main focus of this Miami lineup. Their lineup is very good. They have been one of the top scoring teams in the country this year. But Cuvée is their biggest star. He's ahead in the count, 3-1, the pitch. Swinging a foul back. Another fastball, and he had a mighty rip it at that time. And the count is full. The payoff. Swinging a bouncer on 2 hops to short. Lichtenberger on the run, throws him out. Leadoff man go. 4-4 game. These are the weekend's featured ACC Network softball games. 10th ranked Florida State and Clemson square off noon Eastern. And at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, number 19 Duke hosts number 22 Stanford at Smith Family Stadium. And just like everything else, both games are also available on the ESPN app. One out for Alex Sosa. Sosa led off the 4th inning with a hot shot off the glove of the first baseman, Luke Gaffney. Ended up in foul ground, and he was able to hustle all the way to second. That started a 3-run rally for Miami. Clemson has since tied the game. Sosa has 3 doubles in the last 2 days. He takes outside, the count 1-1. Transfer from NC State. What's interesting about him, Gabby, is that he was really known mostly for his glove in high school. There was kind of an emerging bat, but he's been a really good hitter in the ACC all 3 years. 1-1. Takes a string at the knees, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, you look at what he was able to do last year at NC State. There's power in that bat. Stays really good in the zone. Stays in there long. Drives the ball. He has really turned himself into a very good hitter to go along with that catching ability.
He didn't like the 1-1 call. The fastball misses in. It's 2-2. He took a Long look at Travis Godek, the home plate umpire, said some words to him and then was shaking his head as he was getting ready for the next pitch.
He's a catcher. There's a lot of talking with the home plate umpire in between innings.
2-2. Takes low and the count goes full to the left-handed hitting Sosa.
And these are the type of at-bats, too, with Sosa. Even though you're frustrated, you maybe got a pitch that you didn't think was a strike, where you don't just expand all of a sudden, where you just still stay within yourself.
Here comes the payoff. Bounced foul. Sosa stays alive. Sosa third on the team with 8 home runs, now 10 doubles this season. After his 2-base hit his last trip. 3-2 again. Inside, ball 4, and he draws a 1-out walk.
That's just a heck of an at-bat for Alex Sosa. Doesn't go chasing that pitch in, and then trust that the umpire is going to call it a ball.
He reaches with 1 out. You can hear not everybody in this crowd tonight agreed with the call. Thought it looked like a decent one.
Yeah, that ball was in.
Home plate is 17 inches wide, except when Miami's batting, and then for the fans, they believe it should be 37 inches wide and 7 inches for Clemson. You can understand that. There's pitch outside to Derek Williams. It's 1-0.
I always like the 7-inch home plate. That's what I thought it always should be.
There had to have been umpires over the course of your career. You were like, oh, yeah, that guy's behind the plate. I'm going to get something to hit.
Yeah, and there was also the other guys who were like, you better swing the bat.
1-0 to Williams. Drives it down the right field line, twisting in the corner and going foul. And they got 1-1.
Angel Hernandez up there. You better swing. You better swing.
Yes, he is. Sadly left the business.
Exactly.
A lot fewer talk show topics now. What a one they got to Williams. I always appreciate our good friend Mike Rooney from ESPN, the great college baseball analyst, who likes to call fans complaining about the strike zone umpire consultants. This is a wonderful line. The 1-1. Outside, snap throw to first, and getting back is Sosa.
Boy, that's quick. He received that baseball. It got out of his hands quick, and he showed his arm strength.
Sosa hasn't attempted a stolen base this year. The 2-1. Foul back. That was a hanger. And Williams just missed it. 2-2. There have been a couple of pitches the last few innings that have been in the middle of the plate that Miami has not been able to cash in. 4-4, top of the 5th. Two-two. Tied him up, no swing. And Poxak at first says he didn't go, and the count is full.
And the umpire consultants disagree with that call.
It's 24 strikeouts in 94 at-bats. Do they think about sending Sosa?
I would.
3-2. He goes. The pitch, swing and a miss. A throw down to second, and he is out by a mile. A strike him out, throw him out, double play as Nate Savoy shows off the arm again. Pitcher's best friend. Look at the arm from Savoy. Halfway home. We're tied at 4. Good one coming from Atlanta Tuesday night. Number 5, Auburn. Number 3, Georgia Tech. Terrific midweek non-conference matchup. Georgia Tech off to a great start in the ACC. See Clemson chasing a 17th ACC championship this year. Tied at 4 here today. The depth of the conference on full display tonight. Boston College beating number 9 Virginia 5-3. Todd Interdonato's club off to a very good start in Boston. They are 7-3 now in ACC play, including a series win over Miami. The Pitt Panthers continue to play well. They beat Louisville tonight in Kentucky 4-3. Pitt with a powerful offense. Georgia Tech leads NC State 3-1 in the top of the 8th in that top 10 matchup there. And Florida State beat Duke tonight 3-1. We were watching some of that game.
Yeah.
Aiden Weaver for Duke, Wes Mendez for Florida State. Really good, both of them tonight. Good low-scoring affair. I am really interested to see Boston College now in year 3. It feels like Todd Interdonato has a lot of the personnel that he loves. He is, from his days at Samford, one of the most aggressive offensive styles in the country. They run a lot. Savoy swings and misses the count 1-2.
We saw them last year in the ACC tournament, and they were just running wild. Just all it is just pressure on a defense. It's a fun team. I mean, look, I saw Virginia. Virginia has a very good team. Very good on the mound, very good with the bats, 1 through 9 in their lineup. They can swing it.
Weather looks like it postponed today's game in the North Carolina-Notre Dame series. They'll play 2 tomorrow. That's going to be a really good one as well. Here we got a terrific ball game. Both of these teams tied at 4. And the pitch to Savoy, who had a 2-run homer in the first, is a called strike 3. Rob Evans had the first out in the 5th. Here's why tonight is important in this conference. Miami's looking to get back to 500, and Clemson looking for their second conference win. Two-seamer the front hips on Savoy there. But this game tonight, probably more important for Clemson. Clemson needs to get wins in the conference. Listen, there's still a long way to go in the conference season, and they have experience not that long ago, 2023, starting slow in league play before they ended up hosting. But I'd love to get something moving in the right direction for them. There were high expectations on this team coming into the year.
Very high expectations, and you can see why. There definitely is players up and down the lineup. But a lot of times, too, you start to fall behind. You add a little bit of pressure to yourself. You're not able to kind of get going. That's why we talk about this game does mean a lot.
Upstairs, 2-0.
Especially for Clemson, understanding that if you win this game, you have a chance to win the series in tomorrow. But for Miami as well, Miami's looking at it saying, hey, we want to get to 500 ourselves and see if we can sweep a series here tomorrow.
2-0 the count to Jacob Gerald, the leading home run hitter for Clemson. He waits, and he takes a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, and it's easy to say, too, of course, every team is going out there and they want to get the win. But for me, I feel like it just means a little bit more for that Clemson team just because they haven't really gotten going yet in the ACC.
They're just 1-6 at this point. Outside, 3-1. They were swept by Notre Dame last weekend after losing a home series to Georgia Tech. So a lot of teams are going to lose home series to Georgia Tech. Miami series losses, we mentioned BC, and then one to Duke that included an absolutely bizarre Sunday game, 20-10 in Coral Gables. Foul back and the count is full. Miami was a win from Omaha last year. Clemson defeated in the regional here by West Virginia as J.D. Arteaga saw his team have a tremendous second half comeback last year just to get into the NCAA tournament. And then nearly made it to Omaha before losing to conference foe Louisville. Jacob Gerald draws a walk. He's on base for the first time tonight. It'll bring up Tristan McClatty. The Blue Devils highlight next Saturday's lacrosse matchups here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 6 men host Virginia and Durham at noon Eastern. Then at 4, it's the number 17 women and number 5 Syracuse. It's next Saturday on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Tristan McClatty doubled his first trip. Clemson and Miami tied at 4 last of the 5th. First pitch from Evans. Down low, ball 1-0. After being very aggressive that first time through the lineup for Clemson, they have settled into being much more selective against Evans here. The aggressiveness paid off, but it feels like they've made a little bit of an adjustment.
I think Evans has made an adjustment as well, understanding, okay, they're being very aggressive early on. You're seeing a little bit more off-speed pitches early in the count now.
Claddy in the air to deep left center field. Fabio Peralta running back, leaps, and it's out of here. A 2-run homer for Tristan McCladdy. The other way has given Clemson a 6-4 lead. Big night for the cleanup hitter. As Clemson takes advantage on his 6th of the year.
Oh, gets a fastball 93 miles an hour, and it was over the heart of the plate. And boy, Tristan McCladdy did not miss it. Fireworks here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium.
McCladdy's 6th of the season, RBIs number 27 and 28, and it's given Clemson the lead here in the 5th. And here's Jay Dillard. A strike, it's 0-1. This is the liveliest we've seen the Clemson team. It's the liveliest we've seen these Clemson fans this weekend. There is a different feel. You were right when you said it early in the game. There is a different feel to Clemson today. It's almost like the difference was last night they were hoping something good happened. Tonight they're expecting it to.
Right, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a lot more smiles, too, in that dugout. Guys are having fun. You want to play this game, it's a kid's game. You want to be having fun. And when you're putting too much pressure on yourself, you're not having that fun. You're not playing with ease. You're just going out there and everything is tight and tense. That's the difference that we've seen. And look, we talked with Eric Bakich, and he's told us, hey, we're trying to tell these guys it's okay. We heard purified. Hey, just staying positive, and that's what it's all about. Just staying positive with the team, letting everybody know we're all right. We're going to be okay. This is a long season.
Bakich has such a positive mindset as Dillard goes down on strikes round number 2. He is a very positive guy. He is energetic and encouraging. 2-seamer against Dillard to swing through it. And I don't want to make it sound like he's not tough when he needs to be. He absolutely is. He's a good coach that way. But, you know, a man whose philosophy is there's 2 kinds of days, good days and there are great days, is going to be relentlessly positive. And he was convinced that they were going to break out of this. Now, I'm not sure that every Clemson fan was because they're not in the room. I understand that. Like, we totally get that. But listening to him talk yesterday, you couldn't help but believe that this team was ready to take another step forward at some point. And he knows, listen, after this weekend, you're just halfway through the year. There's still a long way to go on the season. Oh, and 2, they don't hand out regional bids on March 28th.
Yeah. And it's about staying positive, right? And that's kind of what he keeps telling us. It's about being positive with these guys and understanding that you're going to have adversity in a season. Sometimes it's late, sometimes it's in the middle of the season, sometimes it's late in the season. Wherever it might be, there's going to be adversity. The tough teams are able to pull through, come out of it, and when you come out of it, you're going to be stronger as a team.
Listen, they've had their share of adversity in the postseason. 3 straight home regionals, a home super 2 years ago, and they lost one of the great super regional games against Florida in extra innings, but he knows that they have their best baseball ahead of them. And it does feel a little bit like, after talking to him, that they have planned for this season to remember how long it is, right? Like that they slow played some of their starting pitchers in the fall in an effort to try and make sure they were fresh for the end of the year. They didn't have to ride them so hard early in the season. And we'll see what kind of benefit that pays off in the second half. Daly in the air to right center. Peralta makes the catch, and the inning is over. But Tristan McCladdy gives Clemson the lead with a 2-run homer as we head to the 6th at 6-4 Tigers. Clemson as we start the 6th. Here's how we got here. Miami took the lead in the 1st on the Derek Williams RBI single. Clemson claimed the lead on that 2-run blast from Nate Savoy. In the 4th, a big inning for Miami. Alonso Alvarez, the freshman, a double. Matt Sheehan gave them the lead with a base hit, a 3-run frame. Clemson would tie the game in the bottom of the inning, including this sacrifice fly from Bryce Clavin. And now here is the blow that gave them the lead. Tristan McClatty the other way. A big smile and a sigh of relief for the third baseman. Clemson has the lead in the 6th. These kids better watch out. Those things are moving awfully fast. That's what it's going to look like for me driving to Charlotte tonight.
Oh, we got a long ride to Charlotte tonight.
He didn't even signal. He nearly cut the kid in purple off.
Got to at least put the hand out, right?
Gotta
Hey, coming in.
work on our rules of the road here. 6-4 Clemson. Eston Simpson into his 2nd inning of work. Michael Sharman went 4 tonight for the Tigers. Brylan West, the transfer from FIU, takes a strike.
Yeah, with Eston Simpson on the mound, he's a guy that can give you multiple innings. He's gone 4 innings twice so far this season.
Started the first midweek of the year against Charlotte. They could use a little length last night. Ariston Veazey is what's loose in the corner there.
I don't know, something from maybe the Cajun Cafe fell down. Oh, there's a gate. So come on now, let's close the gate.
Got it. That guy's closed a few gates in his life. There we go. That man a chicken thigh. Let him won the count. The pitch. West in the air to center, and Clavin runs it down. 1 out. That was so entertaining. I don't know what we were talking about.
Are we talking about something?
I don't know. I'm here for gate guy.
What we were saying with Eston Simpson about him being able to go multiple innings.
It's a lot.
Steer this ship back in there.
Well, thankfully, you're here to do that. Ain't gonna happen for me. And switch hitter batting left-handed. Hits it on the ground to the right side. Dillard will throw him out. 2 outs. Simpson 1 out away from recording the always important shutdown inning. Clemson got the lead back.
Yeah, for Simpson, 2 quick outs. Right now, if you're Miami, you're Shane, you kind of have to take a couple of pitches here. Let him kind of throw some.
Shane, an RBI base hit his last trip as he takes a ball 1-0. Shane transfer from USC Upstate. Terrific article on him earlier this year on D1Baseball.com from Walter Villa, talking about how he overcame a brain tumor, brain surgery when he was just a young child, 6 years old. Wow. Everything that he had to do to come back from that. He's turned into a fine ball player. He was a highly sought-after player of the transfer portal. He's a good shortstop. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Takes a strike, the count 2-1. Shane has allowed them to move Jake Ogden to second base. It has really improved Miami's defense from a year ago. Ogden was kind of forced to play shortstop because he was the best option last year. I think even a year ago, Miami's staff thought second was going to be his best position, but it's been an important piece for them.
And that's the thing, too, with J.D. Arteaga. He knew that Ogden was the best fit for shortstop in last year's team. But now with Shane coming in, it's like, hey, perfect. We're going to be able to move you back to second base and now kind of solidify that middle part of the infield.
Well, Ogden, in so many ways, was the heartbeat of last year's team that went to Super Regions. J.D. Arteaga, I mean, he really is an emotional leader and had so many big moments for them, including in Game 2 of Super Regionals last season. Jay into third. McClatty waits for the second hop and will throw low, and a good pick by Gaffney. A 1-2-3 inning for the freshman Simpson through 5.5. Clemson leads Miami 4-3, 6-4.
Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Clemson with a 6-4 lead over Miami as they get ready to bat in the bottom of the sixth. The new pitcher for the Miami Hurricanes is Jake Dorn, the senior. Davie, Florida. Made his Miami debut a season ago after missing 2 full years of the injury, 23 and 24. Pitched 11 games for the Hurricanes last year. He's off to a good start this year.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's a 4-pitch mix pitcher. The fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup from the left-hand side. That fastball, 88 to 91 miles an hour. He does utilize that curveball and the slider pretty much evenly, but it's a lot of fastballs that you're seeing.
He takes over for the starter Rob Evans, who went 5 tonight. Luke Gaffney will lead things off. RBI base hit. His last trip, the first baseman, bottom third of the order. Gaffney, Lichtenberger, and Clavon against the lefty Dorn. 6-4 Clemson. Clemson looking for just its second ACC win of the year. A strike, it's 0-1.
Yeah, with Dorn on the mound, 69% of the time he's throwing that fastball. So he throws that fastball a whole bunch. Once he sees that a guy's going to be on it, that's when he goes to his secondary pitches.
There comes the 0-1. That one in the dirt. Count 1-1. It's rare this day and age to see a guy throw their fastball that often, especially if it's one that's not overpowering. I mean, heck, we just saw Wake Forest on Sunday. They throw, what, the 4th or 5th lowest percentage of fastballs in the nation, and they throw harder than anybody else.
They had the hardest fastball velo out of everybody. Never utilize it.
Inside, it's 2-1. Well, in fairness to Wake Forest, everybody on the team seems to have a nasty breaking ball too. So,
I mean, in the park that they play in, is you better be throwing some off-speed pitches because the ball leaves that ballpark pretty quickly.
Here's the 2-1. Foul back. If you've never watched a game on TV or in person at the couch, great little ballpark.
Great little ballpark.
Emphasis on the little. I was going back through some video last week of a home run that was hit there, that was hit to the power alley in right center field, and the distance estimated on it was 329 feet. I know it sounds like I'm joking, but I am not. It is cozy off the end of the bat. West underhands to Dorn. He got him. They're going to take a look at this one. It felt like from our angle, Gaffney got to the orange base before the pitcher Dorn could get to the white bag to record the out. And this is going to get challenged.
Hey, it's almost like you were thinking.
Linus Baker having a little trouble with his microphone. Crew chief. Is this thing on? No.
Well, just let you know, they're going to do a review. There he goes. He gave the hand signal. But you were almost thinking that Dorn could have just applied the tag as he was running up that first base line rather than trying to beat him to first.
I wonder if he knew where he was. I mean, listen, that's not an easy play for a left-handed pitcher, right? He's falling off to the third base side. It was good hustle by him to get over there. It didn't feel like he hesitated at all.
I mean,
and Gaffney just beat him.
Yeah, he did everything that you were supposed to do. I think Gaffney just. I mean, does he beat him?
No, he doesn't.
No,
Boy, that was really a great call.
Not only that, too. Remember, the tie does not go to the runner. And some fans might think, well, they got there at the same time. That's going to go to the runner, but that's not the rule. If it's a tie, it's whatever it was that was called on the field is what's going to be on that play.
I mean, that is a photo finish. Wow.
That is as close as you're going to possibly get on a play. But for me, there's nothing there that's going to overturn that. To me, it pretty much confirms the call because they got there at the same exact time. Maybe a little bit with Dorn beating them by just, I mean, millisecond.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is out. Clemson is charged with challenge.
And here's the thing. If they called that safe, it would have been safe.
Yes. Yeah, that was a bang play. And, I mean, we saw there, it was as close as it possibly could get. Now Gaffney talking to Clavon about the pitch shapes from the lefty Dorn. I always love that. Those conversations are so cool. That happens a lot, and I don't think people recognize exactly what's going on.
And here's the thing, too. Gaffney could be really mad about what just happened. What does he do? Nope. Hey, Clavon, this is what he has. This pitch is going to look like this. It's going to kind of ride on you. Whatever it might be to give him that cue, because that's what it's all about. Team game. Helping your teammate. Hey, I couldn't get it done, but you get it done.
No official plate appearances for Lichtenberger tonight. And Alex Sosa having trouble hearing the pitch communication, and they will reset. Gaffney's still going through with his teammates what the pitches look like. One misses inside, 1-1. I would assume that some guys are better at that than others, too.
there's guys that you trust more than others as well. Some guys would be like, hey, this guy's easy. And you get up there and you turn around and go, easy, that was 98 with sink. What are you talking about?
In the dirt, 2-1.
I've had that one plenty. Hey, this guy's got nothing. You go up there and I don't know what you think nothing is, but this guy is filthy.
Two and one the count. The pitch. That's foul. There's a great story that the late Ron Santo used to tell about Sandy Koufax's perfect game against the Cubs, where he was hitting, I believe, third in the lineup. Billy Williams was just ahead of him. Williams came back to the dugout after a long at bat and said, "What you got today?" He's got nothing. Next, Santo fouled out on like the next pitch, and then Koufax went on to throw a perfect game. 2-2. Down low, the count is full. Of course, then again, the nothing for a Hall of Famer like Billy Williams might be different than the nothing for anybody else.
Those were the best. Because you knew the guys, too, so when they were coming in, hey, this guy's got this, you're like, okay, whatever. That's fine. I'll go figure it out myself.
Here's the payoff. To first, nice backhanded play by West. He will underhand to Dorn, a much easier play that time, 2 outs. You know, this weekend's featured baseball game on ACC Network and the ESPN app is Sunday afternoon. Number 14 NC State and number 3 Georgia Tech finish up their 3-game series. Coverage begins 3 Eastern on the ACC Network, the ESPN app. Big series this weekend in Atlanta. A pair of top 10 teams. 2 outs for Bryce Clavin, who takes inside and gets hit by a pitch. It's a speed aboard for Clemson with 2 outs here in the 6th, leading by a pair. They'll turn the lineup over for Crichton. This feels like a running situation, Gabby, up 2.
Yeah, you got to. If you're Cleavon here, you got to be aggressive. It is a lefty on the mound. And a lot of times, too, I love when you just get on and running on that first pitch. I remember being in summer ball, and we had a summer ball coach, so would say, hey, whenever lefty's up there on that first pitch, just go. 90% of the time, they're not picking over. But I wasn't Clavon either.
And he throws away a pickoff throw, and Clavon's going to end up at third. The second throwing error by a Miami pitcher tonight. This one comes with 2 outs. And an insurance run at third base.
Not only that, that was an easy, I'm just going over just to show you my move. There wasn't anything really there. Clavon gets back easily. He just pulls that throw. West is not able to get it. But I'll tell you this, Clavon was booking it from first to third.
Well, now, you see that kind of speed. If you're Sosa behind the plate, you have to be extra sure that you're keeping anything in front of you. Ooh, that one nearly got by him. The count 1-0. I would be interested to see how aggressive Clavon is. Lefty with the back to him, probably taking a little bit longer lead. But anything that gets outside that dirt circle, he's got the speed to be able to score.
And that's what's going to make it tough for Sosa, because everything has to stay in front of him. He's got to be able to square up his body, because if there's any little turn, if that ball gets about 6 feet away from him, Clavon can score.
Bouncer to third and foul. TJ Coates beginning to toss in the Miami bullpen. That smells good.
Now looking at Clavon's lead too, kind of just taking that traditional lead at third base. I feel like if I'm Clemson, I'm the third base coach, I'm telling him, hey, get off more. Get off a little bit more. See, because anything in the dirt, I want you going.
The 1-1 fouled away. The count 1-2. Cuvée playing relatively deep at third.
You want to take as much as your third baseman is giving you, right? So Cuvée right here, he is playing deep off the base. So you want to be able to get almost that same distance, understanding that if Cuvée starts to come, you have a third base coach that's going to let you know.
Bluffing down the line at third to the lefty there. A long hold by Dorn, the pitch. Swinging a roller to third. Cuvée has it, will throw to first in time to get Crichton, and the inning is over. Clemson leaves a man at third. We head to the seventh. They lead Miami 6-4. Six-4 Clemson as we head to the seventh inning. Tigers looking for their second conference win. Trying to even this series after Miami won in extras last night. Eston Simpson continues for Clemson. 2 scoreless innings. He's allowed just 1 base runner, and he'll face freshman Dylan Dubovik. It'll be 8-9-1 for Miami. Dubovic's had an eventful night. He was picked off first after singling in the third, and then after reaching on a tough error by Dillard, the second baseman, he was doubled off second to end the fourth inning on a line drive to short. He took too big a secondary lead and got doubled off. And that was with Clemson, or Miami had the bases loaded with 1 out at the time of that double play. Outside, it's 2-0.
It was where they're at in the lineup, too. Top of the lineup, Jake Ogden's one that hit that line out. You had Cuvée standing on deck, and that's where, as a base runner, you got to understand you cannot get off too much. You got to know where your shortstop is.
Strike, and the count 2-1. That really kind of changed the momentum in this game. Miami had already played with 3 runs. Clemson came back to tie it in the bottom of the inning, and then took the lead in the 5th on a Tristan McClatty 2-run homer. Fouled away, it's 2-2. Simpson winds and delivers. Outside corner, and it's called a ball, and the count is full. A very close pitch. Travis Kodak looked like he wanted to raise the hand, but decided not to. And here comes the payoff to Dubovik. Back off the glove of the pitcher. A tough play, and Lichtenberger smartly eats it. It's an infield single for Dubovik. Well, it was probably ticketed for center field anyway.
That ball was going to be ticketed towards center field. Simpson almost is able to come up with it, deflects it, but when he deflects it, it goes straight up. There's nothing really that Lichtenberger can do other than just kind of corral that ball, give it back to Simpson, and say, hey, let's get a double play here.
Fabio Peralta bats. He's not much of a power threat, as we're going to get mound visit here, a very slow one.
This is just a infield kind of coming in, kind of timeout.
And while the boys get together here, we'll tell you that these are the weekend's featured ACC Network softball games. 10th ranked Florida State and Clemson square off at noon Eastern. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. Number 22 Stanford, number 19 Duke. Smith Family Stadium. Everything else, both games, also available on the ESPN app.
This is an interesting situation here, too, with Fabio Peralta up. Miami down 2. The thought process, and I feel like why they had that meeting on the mound, is, hey, in a bunt situation, where are we supposed to go and what are we going to do?
Peralta does square to bunt, pulls back and takes the ball. 1-0. Danny Nelson, the freshman, getting loose in the Clemson bullpen. Just started to toss during that mound visit. Getting to get loose down there. Third baseman McClatty playing in. Peralta not a power threat at all, and he squares the punt. He bunts it in the air, fouling out of play.
Yeah, right now for Peralta, for me, it looked like he was almost trying to bunt for a hit there, trying to push it past Simpson on that right side, see if he can get it towards second base to Dillard and have it die out there. But these are a situation where if you are going to try to sacrifice yourself, what you're trying to do is bunt that down that first base line.
You're down 2. You only have 9 outs to play with here. He's not bunting this time and fouls it down the left field line and out of play.
And that's the only thing that makes me think that that was on his own, trying to maybe bunt for a hit, see if he can get first and second going. Because as soon as he didn't bunt that one and it looked like he was trying to bring it with him, he's going back to swinging it.
1-2 the count. Dubovik 2 for 3 in stolen base attempts and a throw over. He scrambles back. An adventure tonight on the base paths for the freshman. Simpson comes set. Another throw over and Dubovik back again. They clearly think that some sort of a play is on. Peralta handles the bat pretty well, though he did punch out 3 times last night. More walks than strikeouts on the season. And now Eric Bakich is coming out to the mound for a visit here. The 1-2 count.
I've seen him come out and take pitchers out during an at-bat, not in a 1-2 count.
I tend to think that this is more about defensive positioning, right? Or the way Simpson wants to attack him. Looks like Simpson's doing most of the talking and everybody else is laughing.
He's at 39 pitches.
And he's going to go to the bullpen. He had a righty getting loose, and so freshman Nelson will enter the game. Interesting time to do it. Nobody out, man at first. Top of the 7th, a 1-2 count. We'll tell you about the new right-hander for the Clemson Tigers in a moment. With a 1-2 count and a man at first, Danny Nelson is into the game to replace Eston Simpson. We're trying to figure out what the matchup is here. Gabby, I mean, listen, you look at the strikeouts, right? That's pretty loud. Peralta generally puts the ball in play. It seems like Nelson has a slider that they may like in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good slider, 84 to 88 miles an hour. He throws it a whole bunch. I mean, it's the most utilized pitch that he will throw. Does have a good fastball, too, 93 to 96 miles an hour. But I have a feeling that with Nelson on the mound, especially with the 1-2 count, almost kind of like that gamesmanship of, hey, we're going to give you something new with a new pitcher on the mound, and you have one strike to figure out what is it that he's going to be throwing. I have a feeling it's going to be that slider. Because against lefties and righties, he will throw the slider more.
Fabio Peralta behind 1-2 to the freshman Nelson from Hershey, Pennsylvania. The righty's pitch, it's a breaking ball and it's fouled away. So right away he does go to the slider.
He left that one up. I guarantee you that Fabio Peralta knows, hey, it's going to be a lot of sliders, so just stay on it.
The 1-2. Slap down the left field line and foul. Scattering the Miami bullpen.
And that's what makes it a little bit tougher, too. 95 miles an hour after that slider.
TJ Coates standing on the bullpen mound for Miami. You think he would likely have the bottom of the 7th inning. Liner down the left field line. That one slicing and staying fair. Over to cut it off is the left fielder, Crichton, and it's 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out for Miami in the top of the 7th and the top of the lineup coming up.
I mean, what an at-bat for Fabio Peralta. Getting a new pitcher, you're down 1-2, you fight off a couple of pitches, then you get a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that you're able to just stay on and slap it to left field.
Jake Ogden has a pair of hits tonight, tying runs in scoring position with nobody out. There's Dubovic, there's Peralta. First pitch. Ogden takes a breaking ball inside. It's 1-0.
We saw this against Ogden in yesterday's ball game. Against Cuvée, a lot of fastballs. Ogden, a lot of breaking pitches.
Couldn't hold up that time. He went around. Yeah, that was an easy appeal. It's 1-1. Jake Ogden, so many big hits for Miami a year ago. Hitting just .250 this season. The 1-1. Swinging a roller to short. That's going to knock a run home and throw to first in time to get him. It's an RBI ground out in a 1-run game, and on the play, Peralta goes to third. See how late a break Dubovic got at third base?
I was just going to tell you, I think that Dubovic is a little gun shy right now on the bases. That's a routine ground ball. You got to go on it because they're playing back. He ends up hesitating a whole bunch, but he ends up going, and I think he went because Peralta kind of pushed him to go.
Daniel Cuvée hits infield coming in. Breaking ball misses. It's 1-0. Tying run at third with one out for the top RBI man and one of the best in Miami history. Top 10 and runs batted in all time at Miami. The pitch. On the ground, diving backhanded stop by Lichtenberger, and he will throw out Cuvée for a huge second out. It wasn't hit real hard, but Lichtenberger had to leave his feet and still froze the runner to get the out.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether it was hit hard or not. It's still a line drive, one hopper to Lichtenberger at short. He's able to make the play, looks him back, and gets Cuvée out at first. That's a huge, huge out for Clemson.
With one out and a man at third, not going on the contact play there was the runner Peralta.
Now they're playing in. The decision was we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to see that ball through. It's also because of where you are in the lineup. Alex Sosa has been having himself quite a series. He's been swinging the bat extremely well. You're going to give your 2 and 3 hitters a chance to try to get that runner home.
Wait, circle that play, though. That might end up being the biggest of the night, the 1-0. Sosa hits it high in the air to right center field on the run, and unable to get there is Daly. The game is tied. Sosa with his 4th double in 2 games, and we're even at 6. Alex Sosa delivers, and so the decision for Peralta to stay home comes back and comes up big for Miami.
Yeah, I guarantee you that was talked about. Hey, we're not going to go. We're going to see the ball through. Let's not be too aggressive just because of where you are. We talked about it. Sosa has been extremely good this whole entire series. A lot of extra base hits. He stays on this breaking ball. He drives it to right center field and ties this ball game up for Miami.
Sosa.
I don't know what that is.
That's with his celebration on all 4 of his doubles.
Is that he's loving himself?
He is.
He should be.
It's a little double love for him. Want to know the count to Derek Williams. Time called at the plate. Miami with another 2-out run. They have scored so many of them in this series. It's 2 more tonight.
Is that 11 for the series? 8 yesterday, 3 today?
That's right. Off through the wickets by the bag at second. Dillard will throw out Williams, and the inning is over. But Miami ties the game on the Alex Sosa double. Time to stretch here at Clemson. We're tied at 6 with another dandy. Look at tonight's good hands play brought to you by Allstate. Derek Williams showing off tonight.
Oh, he had to go a long way to make this play. Hits the wall, corrals that ball in. Kept himself from going over, too. That's a heck of a play from a right fielder.
I would call that a well-balanced catch in the end.
I like it.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Miami and Clemson tied at 6. Williams, senior for Wichita State, and here is T.J. Coates, the Kansas City area native, who will take over on the mound in this tie game.
Yeah, with Coates on the mound, it's a fastball sweeper, throws a curveball. He also has a slider, so he can kind of mix up that sweeper slider mix. He'll throw it a little bit harder. Now, one of the harder throwers coming out of the pen for Miami is 91 to 93 miles an hour. He likes to utilize that four-seam fastball.
He's going to have to go through the heart of the Clemson order. The Nebraska transfer will face Nate Savoy to lead things off. Savoy, Jacob Gerald, Tristan McClatty. Savoy and McClatty have both homered tonight. Savoy's 10th of the year back in the first. First pitch misses inside a ball, 1-0. Clemson 6, Miami 6. Both teams struggling in their first 2 ACC series. Clemson trying to set up a rubber match tomorrow. Miami trying to get their first series win, and a nice play by West. Reach up and snag that liner off the bat of Savoy. It's 1 out.
Very nice play there by West, going up and getting it. keeping that ball in the infield, making the grab. That was ticketed for right field. That would have been a double for Savoy.
Here's Jacob Jarrell, who hits. He walked and scored back in the 5th. 0 for 2 tonight. Leading home run hitter for Clemson has been relatively quiet in this series as he takes the ball low, 1-0. See the batting average. He has massive power.
Massive power, and that's where if you're coach, you gotta be careful here.
Outside, 2-0. Eric Bakich called him the single best recovery athlete I've ever been around. And then he started taking us through his routine of washing his hair with egg yolks, and it fouled away. 2-1. Using red light glasses at home, having special lighting. He does everything he can, committed to being in the best physical shape to play the next day.
Tried that egg yolk on the hair.
Now into the left side. Glove by Shady will throw him out. 2 outs. Do I want to know the result of that?
My hair fell out.
I'm sure that was egg yolk.
Let's see. Nair.
Might be an allergy. Generally, I have egg on my face, so sorry about that. Here's Tristan McClatty.
Have you ever heard of egg yolk with your hair?
I have, actually.
You have?
Yeah.
I have never.
I walk in some very weird circles.
You do.
Tristan McClatty, a 2-run home run in the 5th, and he sends that one to deep left field. Did he get enough? He did! McClatty's second of the night gives Clemson a 7-6 lead. 3 extra base hits for the third baseman. What a night. Opposite field power, both homers for McClatty.
Oh, you gotta feel good as a Clemson fan, especially after what happened in yesterday's ball game where McClatty misplayed a ground ball at third in the 10th inning, giving Miami the win. To be able to come back today and do what he's been able to do with the bat. His second home run of the day. This one a no-doubter to left field.
And Jay Dillard gets plugged with the next pitch. He will reach first. 7-6 Clemson. Boy, the smile on Tristan McClatty's face, and look at his teammates. Jack Crichton right there.
Oh, you know, I guarantee you that in yesterday's ball game, after that game finished, he was hard on himself. And he understood, man, could have made that play. Something could have happened, at least keep it in front. So to be able to come out the next day, and there's a fan, yep, I'm the one that got the ball. Here we are. Give it to Tristan McClatty, please. He deserves that ball.
You're not going to believe this, but I got a ball. I'll back. 2-1.
But yeah, just, I mean, tough game yesterday for him to be able to come back today and do what he's been able to do with the bat. That's why baseball is one of the greatest sports out there, because you can always redeem yourself the next day.
It's the Earl Weaver line, right? This ain't football. We do it every day. First hit with 2 outs tonight for Clemson, and it's a huge one. An opposite field solo homer for McClatty to give him the lead. And now Clemson 6 outs away from evening this series. That dude's texting everybody.
Hey, we're on TV.
There's McClatty. You know, as much as that play in the 10th inning, which was a difficult chance.
I'm still saying it's a hit.
Yeah, there was another play earlier in the game that he had a misplay on. It wasn't his best night defensively. He also looked like he was struggling at the plate. And just the difference in the look on McClatty's face tonight, you have to feel so good for him. He felt like he was not in a good spot yesterday.
And it all started
pressing.
Yeah, it was all pressing, but it all started in that first at bat where he was able to double, and you can just see kind of a release of just all that tension kind of go away and understand, like, okay, let's play this game.
You have to remember, he's been playing a lot of outfield. The reason he's at third is because Dillard had to move to second with Trier and Purify out. And that man next to him with the mustache, Eric Bakich, with the real mustache, college mustache, had the confidence to keep him in the heart of the lineup. He's been scuffling a little bit at the plate, and keep him in the game at third base. And that I love too, right? He didn't run from him in a spot where I think taking him out would have looked like pushing the panic button, right? But instead, he keeps McClatty in, and he's been rewarded tonight.
And there he is.
Everybody happy for him. Man, that's incredible. Swing and a miss. Dally down on strikes, and the inning is over. But Tristan McClatty gives Clemson the lead with his second blast of the night.
Oh, Tristan McClatty, 2 home runs on the night. This one, huge opposite field homer to give Clemson the lead.
This weekend's featured baseball game on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Sunday afternoon, number 10, NC State. Number 3, Georgia Tech. Finish up their 3-game series. Coverage 3 Eastern. Should be another good one in the ACC. We've got a dandy tonight. Clemson on Tristan McClatty's second homer of the game has taken a 7-6 lead over Miami. Ryland West will lead things off against Danny Nelson, who allowed Clemson to tie the game in the 7th after coming in. West fouls it away. The count 0-2.
One of the good things that Clemson has been able to do has been that answer back, where all of a sudden Miami's able to score. Clemson has been able to answer in the bottom of the inning.
It's the 0-2 to the right-handed hitting West. He swings and bounces it foul. Very good contact hitter, just 2 homers this year. Not known for his power. He did hit a dozen last year at Florida International before transferring here. Waits to the 0-2. Way outside. Breaking ball 1-2.
I mean, the way that he stands at the plate, very tall, big body, but he's not trying to generate that power. It's almost like he's just trying to nice and easy through the zone.
To third, McClatty knocks it down, stays with it, throws, and plenty of time to get West. 1 out. No panic there from McClatty, who made the play for the first out.
And this is what you want from McClatty. There was no trying to rush it. He understood, okay, I have somebody that's running. He's not going to be the fastest guy. Let me gather myself. Let me pick up this baseball and make the play at first.
Freshman Alonzo Alvarez, switch hitter batting left-handed. Doubled homer run and scored, and he dumps that one down the left field line. That one will roll into the corner. Second double of the night for the DH, and the tying runs in scoring position with 1 out. That's 2 wrong-way doubles by Miami hitters off Nelson. I mean, that was very similar to Peralta's.
It really was an off-speed pitch and just stays on it, doesn't try to do too much, inside out, down that left field line. And Miami has done a good job in today's ball game of hitting those doubles, those extra base hits, and getting themselves into scoring position.
Tying run in scoring position with one out for Vance Sheehan. First pitch to the shortstop. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Sheehan singled home a run in the fourth. 7-6 Clemson. Top of the eighth with one out. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Boy, powered 96 past him, 0-2. He's hit 96 and 97 so far tonight.
I'm not really doing anything other than that, especially when you see that Sheehan is late on that fastball. I would just climb the ladder more.
Swing and a miss. Got him to chase. 96 off the plate. 2 outs.
Yeah, no reason to get away from that pitch. Looked like Sheehan was just late and says, you know what, Nelson, I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to throw you the fastball. I'm going to let it rip.
A little two-seamer that ran back to the corner a touch. Dylan Dubovic now. 2 hits tonight for the freshman outfielder. Tying run at second. Takes a breaking ball outside, 1-0. At bats better tonight for Dubovic than last night.
I mean, he has been struggling. He had that good, hot start to the season, and you get the freshman struggles, but today you have seen a lot better at-bats out of Dubovic.
Former perfect game All-American fouls it at the plate, and the count 1-1. He has power. Originally recruited to Miami as a pitcher. That's Gutierrez. Their pitching coach went to go see him in a tournament and said, you know, this guy can hit a little bit. And now he's a position player only. The freshman waits, and he fouls it back. Count 1-2.
Oh, he's mad too. Looking for that off-speed pitch. He gets the slider and just can't get it in their territory. Just underneath it, fouls it straight back.
Tying run at second. Top of the eighth, 2 outs. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. 97 from Nelson, and he's fired up heading into the Clemson dugout. 2 big punch-outs for the freshman. It's Clemson up a run and through 7.5. Second conference win of the year. Bottom third of the lineup due against the new pitcher for Miami. This is Jack Durso, the freshman from New York State, and this is an arm that Miami staff is pretty excited about. They think there's a lot of projection in him.
Miami's very excited with having him and coming into a big situation in this ball game too, because you got to try to keep the lead right where it's at. You cannot let this game get away from you if you are Miami and they're looking at a freshman to be able to come in and do just that. But it's a fastball about 89 to 92, has a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. He's going to mostly be fastball, slider.
Looks like a guy that would fit on the 1986 team with that mustache.
With the mustache
Perfect.
going?
Yeah.
Mustache March.
It is raising awareness for ALS. Clemson doing a terrific job of that. That's why you see all of their players, why you see Eric Bakich with a mustache. Very personal for Eric Bakich. His mentor, Keith LeClaire, the former head coach at East Carolina, who he played for, died from ALS. But we had a chance to talk to Eric about the impact that Keith LeClaire had on him. That's why he wears number 23 is for LeClaire. That's the reason why they do it every year. And it was interesting listening to him. So one of the things that he said that really got my attention was when he said, every single player on this team knows who Keith LeClaire is.
He makes it a point to let everybody know what LeClaire meant to him and what LeClaire meant to baseball itself.
LeClaire played for Jack Leggett, who is a legendary Clemson coach who's on staff here for Bakich. They have had great T-shirts, too, the last couple of years for Mustache March. I have one of them. It's starting to get a little ratty, but I love it. Duke Gaffney sends it into left center, and coming over is Peralta. The leadoff man gone in Clemson 8th. You see Gaffney sporting a thinner mustache.
These guys can't really grow it that much. Got some that can grow a good one.
Well, Bakich had the Fu Manchu on Tuesday night, and after Clemson lost its 7th of 10 games, he shaved to try and change the karma. Here's Tyler Lichtenberger. 7-6 Clemson, bottom 8. First pitch is a strike. Okay, here's the difference. On the left of the white uniform, that's Tuesday night. Purple uniform, Thursday. So a little bit of a difference. Got to change the karma up when things aren't going well. Potentially delayed gratification. Clemson has the lead. Lichtenberger swings and misses. 0-2. Shortstop played well defensively in this series. Waits. Upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Clemson with a 1-run lead, looking to tack on here in the 8th. And the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, right now for Clemson, just trying to get guys on base. See if you could get some insurance runs. 7-6 ball game, Miami. They're going to have some power. They're going to have their top of the lineup coming up, guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. So if you can get at least one here, give yourself a little bit of breathing room.
2-2. That one line back through the middle and a base hit for Lichtenberger. He's aboard with 1 out for the number 9 hitter, Bryce Clavin. And to your point, 9-1-2 due for Miami in the 9th. Fabio Peralta in the top of the order with Jake Ogden, Daniel Cuvée, their best hitter. And if anyone gets out, Alex Sosa. And Sosa's had the best series of any Miami hitter with 4 doubles. It's not going to be easy for Clemson in the 9th. There is action in the Clemson bullpen. Justin Legurnick, the talented lefty, getting loose. First pitch to Clavin. Takes a ball low. It's 1-0. Clavin tonight 0 for 1. Sac fly and hit by a pitch. Legurnick, former starter. Pitch Tuesday against Coastal Carolina. Getting ready potentially for the 9th. Clavin fouls it off to the right, not a play. Cal 1-1.
Trying to think. With Lichtenberger at first base for him to run, but he hasn't really run all that much this season. Just 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts.
Lefty on the mound. Looked home and threw to first.
I think that Bakich would maybe want him to get going, try to get himself into scoring position, but at the same time too, kind of thinking let's not run ourselves out of a chance, especially with after Clavon, you're going to go to the top of the lineup.
Another throw over and Lichtenberger's back.
And we have seen Miami struggle with throwing the ball over the first on the pickoff plays. 2 errors on the night with the pickoff throws.
Lichtenberger, App State transfer with the lead. The 1-1, Clavon squares the bunt, takes high, and count 2-1. Field back. Clavon with blazing speed. If he got anything down, I think either up the third base line or push to the pitcher, it'd be very hard to throw him out.
I think right here in this situation, too, if Clavon can do it, you want a little push bunt to second base because you have a lefty. The lefty's going to fall to that third base side.
Gervais even with the bag at third. West holding the runner at first. The 2-1. Upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. Durso is very concerned with the runner at first, and it seems to have taken a little bit of his focus.
Yeah, that's what happens with a freshman, too. Right now, your concern and focus needs to be on the hitter, understanding that, hey, if your coaches want you to throw over, they're going to let you know.
3-1 the count. And he's telling him to throw over to first. It's Sosa, the catcher. He was pointing, and saying, throw over.
That's the new pickoff play. Hey, point. Throw that way, throw that way, throw that way.
Allowed him to reset the timer and get the signs again. 3-1. Another snap throw, and that one actually close. A little bit of a setup with the short toss and then that one, and Lichtenberger will have to clean the dirt out. Resetting the timer. 3-1 the count. Clemson by a run in the 8th. The pitch in the dirt, ball 4. And 2 aboard with 1 out in the 8th inning for Clemson as the lineup turns over for Jack Crichton.
I would think that this would be a good time, too, for Laz Gutierrez to go out there with Durso on the mound and get him to just calm down just a little bit. Looks like he's worried too much about the runners. Well, it's going to be J.D. Arteaga
Brixton
coming out.
Lofgren has been throwing in the Miami bullpen, and he's going to make a pitching change with the righties coming up. So the freshman, the leadoff man, and then a single and a walk. And Clemson has a 1-run lead in the 8th. We'll see about the new pitcher for Miami in a moment. Brixton Lofgren on out of the Miami pen, the transfer from Fordham. Arrived last year. See the numbers on the right-hander. Now trying to get this to the 9th inning. Miami trailing by just a run. He's going to have to work through the top part of the order, starting with Jack Crichton.
And for Lofgren on the mound, likes to throw the changeup, has a four-seam fastball. He's going to sink a little bit. He's got a slider. Utilizes that changeup and sinker a whole bunch. He tries to tunnel both of those pitches together. And right now, the way that the game is, with runners on first and second, they're calling on him to get some big outs here in the top of this Clemson lineup.
Tyler Lichtenberger at second, Bryce Clavon at first. Here's Crichton and Nate Savoy. The premier power hitters for Clemson, who's already homered tonight, is in the on-deck circle. So Lofgren would love as a double play. Crichton singled and scored in the first inning. The senior waits. He squares to bunt, and he bunts it up along third. And Cuvée smartly lets it roll foul. Oh, that stayed on the grass. It was a base hit. Crichton met with Eric Bakich in the on-deck circle right before that at bat, and I wonder if that was part of the conversation. You just want to get Savoy to the plate.
Well, here's the thing, too. I guarantee you, you're looking at Cuvée. Cuvée is playing back more, trying to give himself a little bit more room to have some range. And Crichton says, I can fly, and if you're going to give me that room, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and drag this down that third base line and get some bases loaded for Savoy.
Miami has Cuvée back behind the bag. The pitch on the ground to third, backhanded by Cuvée to second for one, on to first, and a good pick by West. And Lofgren does get the double play and leaves Savoy in the on-deck circle. 5-4-3, twin killing. We head to the 9th. Cuvé's due up third with Miami down a run.
Well, big-time players come up in big-time situations, and that's exactly what Cuvée does. This is a backhand, and the way that he spins and fires over to Ogden. But how about the pick, too, at first base by West? That's a huge double play. That ball gets behind, and all of a sudden Clemson could probably score a run there. That's a big double play to keep this game at 7-6.
Cuvée due up third in the inning for Miami, and he will face Justin Legurnick. The lefty making his 8th appearance of the year. He has big stuff. You see the 24 strikeouts in 7 innings. A starter for part of last year. He is one of the premium arms. Clemson has run out some very good relievers the last 2 nights.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that Clemson has. They've got some good firepower in that bullpen, and Gurnick is one of those guys as well. It's a sinker slider. He can go with that 4-seam up in the zone. He does have a changeup, but it's mostly going to be sinker slider. That fastball is going to be 93 to 96 miles an hour. It's a very good slider, too, about 83 to 86. And those are the two pitches that he's going to utilize the most.
Jackson Hughes, the pinch hitter, the transfer from Presbyterian. He is the older brother of Griffin Hughes, who was a key member of Miami's rotation last year. He will pinch hit for Fabio Peralta and takes a fastball at 95 for a strike. It's 0-1.
Not the easiest thing to do, pinch hitting coming in and having to face LeGurnick, who's going to be about 95, 96 miles an hour.
The 0-1. Foul back. It's 0-2. Jake Ogden in the on-deck circle, and then Cuvée. Clemson up a run in the ninth, thanks to the McClatty homer in the seventh. There's Ogden, who has a pair of hits tonight. 0-2 the count to Hughes. The pitch. Called strike three. LeGurnick gets the leadoff man with 3 straight heaters, 1 out.
He just went right after Hughes. This 95-mile-an-hour fastball down and in, called third strike.
1 out for Jake Ogden in this 1-run game. First pitch to the leadoff hitter in the Miami lineup. Upstairs a ball, 1-0. Ogden singled and scored in the first. He singled in the third. 1-0. A strike, and the count 1-1. Ogden's going to put together a tough at-bat. Miami would love to have him on base for Cuvée.
Well, you got to be ready for that fastball right now, too. 95, 96 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss. 94, that one had a little bit of sink to it. It's 1-2.
You hold that two-seam grip. Sometimes he'll get around it, have a little bit more sink. Sometimes he gets on top, it has a little bit more four-seam to it.
The 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2. The mighty presence of Daniel Cuvée in the on-deck circle. Over the shoulder of Ogden. There's the big man. He'll get a chance in the ninth. Ogden to right, and there is Daly, 2 outs. And the last chance for Miami in this 1-run game will be their best hitter, Daniel Cuvée. Cuvée 0 for 4 tonight, just 1 hit in the series. Tied for 3rd all-time in home runs at Miami with the great Yonder Alonso. Facing the lefty LeGurnick, the first pitch. Swinging a foul back. He had a good pass at 95 there. It's 0-1.
He was going to be aggressive if he saw something that was around the plate. And boy, you got a good fastball and fouled it straight back. Clemson is playing no doubles down that third base line.
The 0-1. Foul away, and now LeGurnick 1 strike away from ending this and getting Clemson even in this series in their 2nd ACC win.
Well, if you're LeGurnick right now, you got to keep that fastball going, and you want to elevate that fastball, get it above the zone.
7-6, Clemson top 9, the 0-2. Swinging a pop-up, shallow left. Lichtenberger out. The shortstop staggering, makes the catch, and Clemson hangs on. The Tigers even the series with a comeback victory tonight. They beat Miami 7-6 in a most entertaining ball game, and that man has to be very happy. A 2-homer night for Tristan McClatty. And a double as well. A big night for the junior, and big smiles for him in Clemson's win.
Well, what a big win for Clemson with the struggles that they've been having to be able to come back after last night's ball game and put up the type of game that they were able to put up. The answer back, Miami would score, they would answer back, and it has to go to Tristan McClatty. What a game. 2 home runs for him today. Had a big 2-run homer in the 5th, and then that game winner in the 7th.
This was a really fun one tonight, Gabby. This was a terrific ball game. Clemson takes game 2 of this series. They even it at a game apiece. They beat Miami 7-6. Now for Gabby Sanchez and the rest of this outstanding crew here in Clemson, I'm Mike Farron. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for ACC Baseball. Clemson wins. They beat Miami 7-6.